Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I'm Joseph Manano live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In NFL news today, the Dolphins have had trade discussions with the Pittsburgh Steelers about tight end Jonnu Smith, according to Adam Schefter. Smith expressed an interest in reworking his deal that is scheduled to pay him $4.8 million this season, leading Miami to seek out a trade partner. Tennessee football announced kickoff times for the first three matchups of the 2025 college football season. August 30th versus Syracuse is at noon Eastern Time, 11 Central Time matchup. September 6th versus ETSU is a 2:30 p.m. Central Time matchup, and September 13th versus Georgia, a 2:30 p.m. game as well. Tennessee softball opens up their college softball World Series run today versus number 2 Oklahoma. Lady Balls currently lead the Sooners 3-1 in the top of the fourth. Fire Foundation repair waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three Tell 104.5 The Zone Thursday edition. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. I hope you're having a great day. We got a big show lined up for you, and you're going to hear from Coach Corbin, who we had on yesterday, who, spoke life.
Yeah.
Give it more of the O.
That's right. What was that? Corbs gave a master class on
life
and teaching and reason, you know? So, if you miss that conversation, we'll play a couple of cuts from that, but you can get it where you get your podcast. One easy way to get it, and this is how I listened to it twice today. Just trying to figure out, what y'all might want to hear with regard to that conversation. But you can go to 1045thezone.com. You're making all kinds of noise over there. Yeah, because your mic's on.
Did I turn my mic on?
Slay's here.
How do you have a Tennessee softball shirt? That's amazing. Yes, man. Now your mic's off for some reason.
Listen, man, I ain't out here playing around with my fandom. My fandom is all the way real.
Yes, it is.
And it ain't going nowhere.
Zeph, what's going on? Tennessee and Oklahoma. Oklahoma a huge favorite in this game.
And Tennessee is up 3-1 in the top of the fourth inning.
What's going
3-1.
3-1.
In the fourth inning.
In the top of the fourth inning, they got one.
Tennessee beat them early in the year.
Listen, I understand that we have a television in here that people don't want to turn on, but can we get Mace to make an executive decision today so we can watch Tennessee softball?
That's something. We got major sports going on. Like, I understand if Buck's watching Young and the Restless or something. But sports show watching sports.
Agreed.
It kind of goes together.
I do blame you guys for Tennessee watching and not paying attention to the show. You and you.
I can't even turn around. It's behind me.
You and you.
It's behind me.
But you.
This one over here.
I watch mine on my computer.
This one over here. She's working on 7 hours of radio today.
She's definitely ready.
I woke up at 3 a.m. thanks to my jerk dog. So
I saw that.
Yeah.
Jerk dog.
What did he do?
Dog. Do you know what he did? I'm laying in bed. Comes right up to my face. Puts his little nose in my face.
He knew you had to be up. You had responsibilities to help your teammate Ramon Foster this morning.
Just this little grunt. Like, let me out.
What?
I'm like.
Has he done that before?
He just started doing it as he got older.
That's dogs getting older.
Yeah.
They feel like they like old people.
But I'm like, I legit let you out 4 hours ago before I went to bed. You should have peed then, dude.
Bladder.
This is your own fault.
Bad little dogs, when they get 8, 9, 10, I'm about to say 9, 10. They're like 70
he's
and
9,
up.
he's about to be 10.
See what I'm saying? He's about to be 80 then.
Dog years are times 7, so.
He about to be 80.
So, yeah. Yeah.
He's moving on up. So he feel like he can do anything.
He's like Slay. He's had 2 ACL replacements. He's had a back surgery. He was paralyzed for a couple of months.
Can we talk about the fact that you're on crutches today?
Yeah, and guess what? What's crazy is I was at lunch. Me and Savage, we sitting there at lunch.
Where did you guys go to lunch?
Soho.
Where?
Soho House.
Oh, Soho.
Oh, yeah. Ain't y'all fancy?
Oh, that's where you saw who you saw.
Who was he?
How did you know?
Because you've seen that person over there before.
Bully.
No, did you see Bully?
That's what I saw.
Oh, okay.
That's how Bully was getting me up.
You saw. I thought you saw like her former coworkers.
Nikki and Neil?
Yeah.
No. I went to do their podcast.
Oh, he did their
I went
podcast,
to Neil's house.
Oh.
I went to Neil's house and did that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, that was a good time, too. They said to tell y'all what's up.
Yeah.
Dawn is Neil's favorite anchor.
Yeah.
I'm sure he made sure to tell Nikki that.
Nikki said me and Dawn will gang you, and Slay will back us up on that. So
that is accurate.
I said, you're right.
All of that's accurate.
It was. But I saw Bully walking in while we're eating lunch, and I'm seated in a spot. So they got like a semicircle couch with a table in the middle. You can sit there and eat.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting and leaning.
For people that don't know, it's a private club.
Yeah.
I mean, a private place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, club, hotel.
You have to be a member,
stuff.
and you have to be invited to be a member.
Right. So Bully walks in, and Savage see him. He was like, Bully? And so Bully comes over, and I'm about to get up. So I reach my hand to Bully and give him 5, and he was like, no, don't get up. Don't get up.
Oh, no.
So when I don't get up, I kind of sat back down, like shifted my weight, and my little knee locked up again on me. So I'm back to ground zero.
Oh, no.
Back to ground zero. But I do see my doctor, not Dr. Jones Woods, but shout out to Dr. Jones Woods, my little primary doctor. But I'm going to see, who am I going to see?
Do you remember?
David Moore, Dr. David Moore, my guy.
This is the one who's going to do your surgery.
Just going to do my surgery,
right?
yeah. I can't see him till Tuesday, though, apparently.
See.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, like, you guys know I have this ear thing going on. Like, I can't hear out of my right ear. I got something going on. I got antibiotics. I went to the urgent care, whatever. I'm thinking I have an ear infection. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
But I can't hear anything. It's just ringing, and it hurts. And I've had this for a week. And I can't get in to see a doctor for a week.
That ain't nothing, man. I'm telling you, our whole little show is broke down. Yor, what's wrong with you, Yor?
That's like the most selfish thing I've ever done. When you can't even walk, you have to walk on crutches and wait till Tuesday to find out what your fate is.
Like, dog, come on, man.
I'll tell you this though, like I did that shift yesterday that Dawn did today, and man, I fell asleep hard last night.
I ain't nothing like it. Good day's work.
Ouch.
Good day's work.
I've never in my life done 7 hours of radio in one day. And
really?
What an opportunity to be able to do that on one of the best radio stations in the country. But it knocked me out. You got that today. How are you doing?
Not good. Do I look like I've been hit by a truck?
You
look good.
You and Ramon crushed it this morning, didn't they?
Thanks.
Y'all did. Y'all did a great job.
I like picking his brain.
You did that.
I basically was like, listen.
You did that offensive line talk in the 6 o'clock hour. I was like, damn, we can keep going. You could have done 4 hours of that.
And I would have loved it.
Yeah.
If you missed it, you should go back and listen to it just to learn about offensive line play. Like we went from like elementary stuff to more intermediate stuff. Talked about pulling, what it means, why you do it. He went through every position on the offensive line, what that player is now, and then compared it to what the Titans have at those positions now as well. And it's a little bit different now than what it was even when he started in the NFL, just because defensive guys are so much more athletic now.
Yeah.
Coming off the edge and all of that. But it was really fascinating. And Seth was listening this morning, and Seth in the chat.
Seth. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and just said, Dawn, did you get your break nap? And no, I didn't, because I'm also the Uber this week for my stepson who has soccer camp and needs to be fed, and then has soccer tryouts tonight. So Mama is just working.
The other thing is like, look, we all have different jobs. Everybody listening has different jobs or whatever. But like doing what we do, when you come out of there at 10 o'clock, you're like wired. It's almost like
wired.
You know how like
I drank 8 coffees.
Let's say you drive back from Florida and you get home at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and you're tired driving, but when you get home, you're like wired.
Yeah, you up.
That's what it's like. And so, there's no way you're going to sleep.
Nope.
I mean, I could have.
You could have.
I just couldn't have because I had to go do things.
So Savage Radio tomorrow. What's that going to be like?
It's going to be like Savage.
Who's gonna like lead in and out of breaks and stuff? You?
Me.
Wait, what? You missed every break today.
Every single one.
I thought you was doing it on
wasn't even
purpose.
close.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Nah.
I liked it.
Man,
I thought you did a great job doing it.
I didn't care.
That was dope.
I didn't care.
That was dope.
And then I like challenged management about it, and then in the next break, management walked in. I was like, hi, you're listening, huh?
I did like 7 or 8 hours before though. Like when I first started here.
Yeah, you used to do that all the time when it was the
when you
world's
would fill
worst
in.
secret that you were going to work here.
Savage one day his car, he got a flat tire on the way over. And I think I was supposed to come in the 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock hour, and I just came early to fill in for him. And when he came, I just went on, did their show. That's when him and Jason were doing the show. Went on and did their show together. Then I did an hour of somebody else's, and then I did our show. Yep. I was just planning in the studio that day. That was one of the only. I did that day. It was about the 5 o'clock hour. I felt myself fall asleep.
I remember that.
That was one of the only times I fell asleep. I was like, dang, I fell asleep on that.
I do have to leave a little early to go
take a nap.
Uber pick somebody else up today. So
Okay.
You ought to start charging for this.
I know,
that's right.
I guess that is a part of parenting.
You're gonna
right?
be picking me up soon.
I know I am. I'm gonna have to pick you up. You're gonna have this surgery. You're not gonna be able to drive. I'm gonna have to pick you up every day if you're gonna make it to work.
Mm-hmm. If I don't, it's Bab's fault.
Yep. Lord help us all. Mayor, you better be ready for that first 10 minutes all by yourself.
Coming in hot. I try to.
Good. I'm here for y'all.
Crutch to the stop sign, maybe.
I'm out tomorrow, so you gonna be okay tomorrow?
I ain't got no choice. I mean, it's like sometimes
you know what? If not, we'll make Ramon do it with us.
Might as well.
Come home.
Ramon's on today at 5:20. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Him and Cosell.
Yep.
Are we putting the softball team game on?
Yeah, I'm going to go see about that here in a second. Greg Cosell will join us at 4:20 from NFL Films, at Greg Cosell on Twitter. We're going to continue to go down the Titans schedule, so we'll get his film breakdown of the Texans, the Cardinals, the Raiders, and maybe the Patriots if we get there. So that's coming up. 5:20, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster, OKC in the NBA Finals.
Dude, they good.
Your boy Chet Holmgren was a factor.
Dylan.
I mean, you start with SGA, right, with the 34, 7, and 8, but Chet Holmgren, you talk about the other dudes around these premier players.
Mm-hmm.
Holmgren was great, and he was great early. Set the tone. They got the big lead and never looked back.
By the way.
Here we go.
You can delete that. They got a new commercial for that, Zell.
Slay shakes his head every time you play that.
I do appreciate that they made it a blowout early last night, so I could attempt to go to bed at a decent hour. So that.
What time did you go to sleep last night?
Like 11.
Oh,
dude.
So 11.
I don't know
3.
what I'm gonna do. What time the game come on tonight? About 7?
7:30. That's what time.
I know exactly what you're gonna do. Exactly what I did, and not sleep and rock on.
Slay doesn't need sleep.
Nah.
Slay catches sleep whenever he wants to catch sleep.
Although I feel like he might now with his knee.
Yeah, I'm over inflammatory.
Ramon actually said this morning. I wrote it down.
What?
He's the only guy I know that gets up to take a nap.
Yeah, I actually do. I still do it, and school is out.
All right, more 3HL when we come back. You'll hear from Coach Corbin when we come back. You're going to want to hear this dude, man. Life lessons from Corbs. This is 3HL 104.5 The Zone. I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry, the Amamali family. They are there to help you with any and all of your gifting opportunities that come about through the course of the year. You all have them, and these guys have been doing this for more than 50 years. Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. Family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations, deeply rooted in this community. From Salem service in the special forces to his sons serving as local firefighters. The Imamali family dedicated to giving back in a time that is imperative to support local. Shop Brentwood Jewelry. These guys are the best. They have an incredible jewelry selection, any and everything you want and could imagine that you might need. And you can peruse and choose. And I love the watches. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Not only do they have the best selection of watches, they are the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes as well, vintage or current models. You can get blingy if you want, but you can get low-key too and still have that Rolex for a fraction of the cost. 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Welcome back in the 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. We've been locked and loaded all day. Babs has been here since 6 a.m., people.
Actually, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
I got here at 5.
And she ain't going
an hour
anywhere.
early before the show?
Yeah.
That's how
What'd you
Babs
do for
goes.
an hour?
Prep work.
Okay.
Now.
You got here at 5?
5 a.m.
5-hour show.
Yeah.
Man, I was like 5:50.
I know. Well, I thought I'd be like 5:55. But also, Baby Babs.
But I can walk here, too, so there's that.
There is that. And then Baby Babs snuck into our bed last night. And so when I got up, she lost it and started bawling. Mommy, you're leaving for football again?
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, my God.
I know she ain't going to do that to you.
Oh,
I'm like, this
football
is
Football
going to be
guilt.
a rough fall.
It sure is, boy. Wow.
So I had to love on her, and then I was like, I have to leave, or it's gonna make it even worse.
So
Come
we've
hang
been
with
doing
him and
this.
slay.
We've been doing this day bar forever. Like, what did you think when you got out at 10 o'clock? Like, I'm not going to ask you, could you do that day bar? Because I don't want you to. I'm just saying, like,
Well, it's
would it be
different
weird to be
than-
done with your day at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, but if you stay up late and watch sporting events,
Yes.
then you're
That's right.
tired.
That's right.
And it's a little different than morning news because that wake up time was 2 a.m.
I pounded
when was on
coffee
that.
too, which wasn't.
Yeah, and then I had a
something I
coffee
normally do.
headache,
Yeah.
and so
I don't even drink coffee.
I mean, I could, but no. Nope. No,
I
thanks.
can't wait till Savage Radio tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be good. I'm
loaded.
gonna have to get up. You know what? I'll get up on my way to my doctor's appointment and listen to you.
What time is your
say.
doctor's appointment, Babs?
9.
You know what? Big
Not
Moan should
early
do.
enough.
Yeah, we'll be
You know what Big
Moan?
Moan should do?
What?
Will's coming back on Monday, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably. I think. Oh, like, we'll do it again next week.
Moan should take that week off.
Wow, let's run it in with Will.
Willie B, here you go.
Listen,
It's asking a
I
lot for
love
us.
bowling. I ain't getting up at 3 in the morning to go sit with.
I heard you say
Yeah.
one time a year. I'll do
And
it
get
one
this.
time a year.
I just checked off that once a year thing.
See, everybody said you did great this morning, Babs.
Oh,
You did.
thank
You did do
guys.
great. 615-737-1045. I was sorry I was late getting back in. I was trying to find our boss man to get the softball turned on, but I didn't
Top
find
of the fifth, 3-1. Lady Vols still up.
Brian in he's driving. Brian, what's up? How are you?
Hey, good, man. Hey, I was just calling, trying to look out for Babsy here. I heard you say that you just had some ear. It just started ringing, but it's not an infection. It just kind of randomly happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me and an extended family member of mine, and went to the doctor, and it was sudden idiopathic hearing loss.
Oh, gosh.
Why'd you do this?
And they don't know what causes it. It's an inflammation in the ear canal in the brain, and they prescribe you a steroid. I caught it about 3-4 days in, but it got progressively worse. But then after I got on the steroid, a few days later, it went back to normal. I didn't have any permanent damage from it, but the extended hearing member did lose the hearing in their ear from it.
Wait,
so
what is this
hopefully
called
yours isn't
again?
Sudden idiopathic hearing loss.
Oh, crap. I almost dropped a Shiano like you did yesterday. Sudden
I don't know
idiopathic-
why. Like, I loved our listeners looking out for us, but don't do Babs like this. You could have called it at 5:45. Drop that to her.
She can get in as soon as possible and get looked at. If she's got to drop that word, maybe they'll slide her in a little quicker.
Look how nervous she is.
I'm so nervous.
Come on, man.
The
Thank
whole
you,
rest
Brian.
of
I'm
the show
going
is
to
going to be searching for
WebMD
it.
right
Yeah.
now.
I already know it.
Y'all handle this
welcome.
segment. I'm out.
Don't go to
Appreciate it, man.
WebMD. WebMD tells you you have cancer no matter what you type into
Slow
that
down.
website. So thank you, Brian. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you're right.
All right.
I did need to apologize to the people, though, yesterday, man.
Brian needs to apologize to the people.
Brian does, because he's going to derail our show with Babsy doing this.
Here's some good news, Don. I just looked it up. A significant percentage of individuals with this disease, including those with idiopathic cases, experience either partial or complete recovery with or without treatment.
Tennessee batting.
Okay, that's good. I'm reading it now. Prompt medical attention is crucial to improve the chances of regaining hearing.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, our medical hierarchy in this country is not ideal. Couldn't get in for 7 days. But that's a completely different show.
Which you'll be in tomorrow.
Man.
A little baby.
Oh, within the
That's
first 2
safe.
weeks.
Come on,
Early
Ralph.
treatment
Oh.
within the first 2 weeks. Okay. See, we're okay.
No, this ump is blind.
So this is why we don't
I'm
have
deaf. He's blind.
this is why we don't have television access. What you're doing right now.
No,
This
that's
is
why we can
exactly
tell
why-
them.
This is why it was ripped from us.
Well, guess what? They can't rip my computer.
But it's your fault.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. I never looked at this TV.
It's all your fault. It's all
my
your
fault. It's all my fault. Hey, I apologize to the people. I forgot to give my parsley out yesterday, y'all, and it hit.
No, and it did hit.
I apologize.
3
y'all.
weeks in a row.
So I apologize.
One parsley a week.
I'll get us in tonight, y'all.
Hey, one parsley a week keep you going.
No,
I mean,
be great.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, did you try Brentwood Hearing? He's so right. I should have just texted
Yeah,
Mr. Bowling.
Papa Bowling. Come on, man.
And be like,
Ronnie, what's up?
Yeah.
Ronnie, I'm going to see your wife. Thanks.
Yeah, Ronnie, I can't
Tell her
hear.
I'm coming.
Huh? What'd you say?
That is a great point.
That was dumb. What am I thinking?
Yeah. Blind,
Ronnie
deaf,
was called out at first for the
Blind-
Lady Vols.
blind,
Oh my
deaf, and dumb.
gosh.
They had to go back and review it. And like I said, come on, ump. Reversed it. Safe at first.
I feel like at first base we're down to any close play is called out, and then
Just
they
to go review it,
and then they
yeah.
just review it.
I mean, I'm
Don't
cool
you
with
feel like that?
I'm cool with that. As long as it's not, nothing lost. Especially nobody else was on base. So 1 on, 1 out.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what?
See,
Quit looking at the WebMD,
See?
Don.
Do you know what
know why they
else
got did
causes
that.
sudden hearing loss? Viral infection, loss of blood flow to the inner ear, stroke.
Oh, jeez.
Do you think I'm having a stroke?
No, put the phone away.
No, dude, you're not having a stroke.
Corbs, save us, Corbs.
Yeah, Corbs was on yesterday. You can listen to the podcast where you get your podcasts, rate, review, subscribe, or you go to, like I did today, you go to 1045thezone.com, click on the podcast section, click on 3HL, and you'll find it right there. Also, Tony Vitello from the day before. And great job, Zev, of getting these guys back-to-back and back-to-back days because we were – it was kind of a success experiment. Like both of these guys, extremely successful people. They both go about it in different ways, but also kind of similarly, right? But Cord's been in it a long time, no question about it. What has he learned about the success road as a coach?
I probably learned more about the humanistic piece of teaching and coaching than sport itself. I feel like in a lot of different ways, the skills of sports are very, very important. You spend a lot of time on them. But I don't think you can tap into the skills of sports until you learn about yourself. Until you learn about yourself, until you're comfortable in your own skin, until you move away from posturing, until you get very vulnerable with who you are, what you need to do, how you need to get better. You gain a teachable spirit so that you can grow as a person. And then when individuals start to work in that manner right there, then you try to blend those traits into the team. And when the team starts living those traits, that's when trust is born. And trust is born inside the group. And when that happens, that's when you start to see consistent and positive outcomes. And I think that's where we're really at, because I think it took a little bit of time. Now,
It did.
Yeah, we were 11-9 in the conference in April, and we lost to MTSU on a Tuesday. We take the bus down to Ole Miss and lose the first game Friday and lose game Saturday, and they weren't quality games. And then we win 13-0 on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to tell you that 13-0 was the breakthrough moment, but what happened is it was almost like we surged a little bit offensively, and that momentum continued to build, and then it became a wave. And then when the wave started moving, we started moving with it. But I do think that team trust started to really develop at a high level. Then it became no longer, I have to get this done or we're going to fail. It became more about, okay, if I don't get it done, this guy's going to pick us up. And because I think, even though Brody Johnston was a freshman named MVP of the SEC tournament, I could have given you 10 different names of MVPs in that tournament. That was, Brody played well, but Brody was one of 10, 11, 12 people that made it possible for us to win in that environment. So
Coach
good.
Forbes. Yeah. So he does baseball camps, right? And one of the things that he does before the baseball camp is he gets on top of the dugout and all the kids sit in the bleachers and parents stay because he goes about 20 minutes. And it's stuff like that. right? Like it's about life and things like that. And he talked about one time I was there, he talked about Dansby Swanson. And all the kids are like, oh, I know Dansby Swanson. I love Dansby Swanson, all this stuff. And he said, okay, well, here's an example of what we do. And he said, this is a story about how baseball is not about you. It's a team sport. It's about, every at bat is about the team. You think you're in the box, and you are, but it's about the team, right? So he said, everybody strikes out, right? And that's why I love baseball. I love for kids to play baseball, softball, because it teaches you how to fail, right? Like everybody's going to strike out, every single person. So you're going to have to learn how to deal with that. And it's going to be a big moment in the game. Maybe the bases are loaded. Maybe it's the last out. Maybe it's, whatever it is. And so he said, look, Dansby Swanson strikes out. He comes to the dugout. He might put his helmet on the stand a little harder than he normally might. He might shove the bat into the holder a little harder than he normally might. But everybody is there to fist bump him, and he says, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Because that at bat's not about Dansby Swanson, it's about the team. And so when he was talking about that, you get to the point where it's not a pressure on me to do the job. If I don't find success, somebody else is going to pick it up. And so that's kind of what I was thinking about when he was talking about that. Mm-hmm. Now, 19 straight regionals. That's incredible. And think about how that sport has changed over the course of those 19 years, and he has still found success. So we asked him, Coach Corbin, what do you look for in a player when you recruit them?
I look for someone with a high care level in everything they do. And I mean that, care level for their social life, academics, competition, baseball, gratitude, someone who's grateful, someone who treats people well, treats their parents well, because that's their life team. I've made decisions on kids where I saw the other side of that, and at that point right there, you got to have the right fibers in order to play here. So a lot of it is humanistic in terms of, you have to be a skilled player, but I like great human traits too. I like guys who want to grow as men. That's important. And I've always looked at these kids like, okay, if they were going to marry Hannah and Molly, how could you help them so you could equip them for a better marriage and a better relationship? And I've always looked at these guys that way. I'm a step parent in life, and I feel like I'm a step parent in my professional life too. It's like you're learning to love other people's children when you get them for 2 and 3 and 4 years. And I take great pride in that. And I like the fact that I feel like I can teach a whole lot more than just baseball. And that's a huge part of what we do.
How about at some point out, I don't know if you pulled this, him saying it, but he got fired up talking about and said, it pisses me off when people say that the game has passed me by.
Yeah, he didn't like that. That's been the word.
I think that's because the reason why he said that is because he finds great energy every single day.
Yeah.
And he said he finds it to be like an opportunity to put his baseball pants on every day.
Yep. And
that one day he won't be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a part of this soundbite, Zeph. Coach, we asked Coach Corbs, these kids are family to you and your wife, Maggie. Do you have enough space in your house for all of these guys?
I mean, this is our life, and we've just made it our life. I mean, if you went to the door in our house, you look to the left, and it's Maggie's den, and all she has on her den is just like this morning, a dozen gift wrap their presents, and their presents for our players who have had kids or are getting married. And it's just a lot of that all the time, and it's just keeping up with them. And the Rolodex grows, but I like it, and she loves it, and there's no other life. I mean, I think the thing about the life, I don't need a life scare to know that I'm running out of time. I understand my own mortality, and that can change at any moment. So I've got a real recognition to what to be grateful for. And I'm very grateful that I've been in the same city for 23 years with a wife, that we've been able to be in an environment where it's higher education, but develop such great relationships with kids that will stay with us for a long period of time, and hopefully we can stay with them too. So my life is just filled with gratitude every single day, and I feel like in 41 years, I've never changed as a teacher and coach. I have the same energy. I don't do anything else. It's the same every day. It's Sunday through Sunday. You wake up, I work out, I drive my four-wheeler here, I put on my baseball pants first thing in the morning, and I always have. And people say, why? It's because there'll be a day where I don't get to wear them. And I want the feeling of understanding what this feels like every single day. I don't take this for granted. I never want it pulled from my life. And it does really piss me off when I hear someone say, the game has passed me by. They have zero idea. I mean, this is on my mind all the time. It will never pass me by. I'm a learner. I want to learn all the time. I've got great energy, and I'm in great shape. So I'm glad that, we have a team this year that we can celebrate, and hopefully we can continue to play well. We'll see. But we just enjoy this life.
Number 1 overall seed. Awesome. There was your answer right there.
Yep.
With that.
How
can you not like that?
I don't need a life scare to understand my own mortality.
Mm-hmm. And it's yeah.
You know who it reminds me of?
Who?
Rick Barnes. In the way that they kind of speak about life and what's important and things like that. One more cut from Coach Corbin when we come back about Candace Story-Lee. I think you're going to want to hear this, and it's about women leadership and more than that. That's coming up next. Also, Kenny the Mailman wants to talk Vandy baseball. Tyler also in the mix. More coming up. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, everybody? It's time to go get in your golf carts. Why? Because summer is here and you're riding around in your neighborhoods, and the kids don't want to walk no more. They're lazy, I'm telling you right now. But it's cool to have a cool one also, a cool golf cart. And you know who can get that done for you? Boswell's golf carts. They can do that. Have you looking like, yes, the talk of the neighborhood, speakers lined up. You won't even want to get in your car anymore, and it's safe. You understand that? Speed, that's regulated. You can have it as fast as you want to, but you can go on to the showroom floor and watch and get everything you're looking for. Yamaha, E-Z-GO, Cushman, Evolution, and Icon. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. Even getting a facelift, like you want to get it dressed up for the 4th of July, they do that too. Just take it in, 111 Transit Avenue, right here in Nashville. Understand, go follow them at Instagram or Facebook, Boswell's Golf, Boswells Golf. Real simple. Nashville's trusted family-owned golf cart dealer since 1963. Going to get right. Ride in style, even on the golf course. Boswell's Golf Cars.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Slay Dog, you got a little softball update?
Yeah, man, listen, it's going down. Coach Karen Weekly got her ladies, locked in, focused, taking on the number one team and said, you know what, don't blink an eye. So what you're going to do is you're going to get up back to the mound, throw that little light little heater monster right there, paint the outside of the paint, not the paint of the, what's the base? When you're in the box, the plate. Paint the plate, you know what I mean, right down the outside corner. And guess what? It was 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and then Oklahoma.
They swung it right. Too, right?
Run on second.
Yeah.
Swung, left field, come right up on it, boom, out. Let's get back in there. Time to go get back in the box. Later balls, 3-1.
Can I add?
Bottom of the 5th.
Do it. Now top of the 6th.
Well, sometimes they act like they number 1, Zeph. Zeph said Oklahoma's number 2, not number 1. They act like they number 1.
Yeah, but they should reseed, right? Like Oklahoma, as the 2 seed, should play the only unranked team that's left, which is Ole Miss.
Oklahoma is the juggernaut of softball. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So you've got 2 playing 7, 3 playing 6. It's ridiculous in the top half of the bracket. So the losers of those games are 2 really good teams. Mm-hmm. So top of the 6th, Tennessee Lady Vols lead 3-1 over Oklahoma. They play 7 innings, in case you're wondering.
Yep.
615-737-1045. Let's get one more cut from Coach Corbs.
Shout out to Savia Morgan, too. Tennessee native, you know what I mean? Straight out of Columbia. Showing love. One of our homeboys. Daughter. Salute. She put in work. Outfielder. True freshman. Cole.
Columbia's put out some players.
Columbia know what to do down there now.
They do. So does Candace Story-Lee.
Yes, she does.
You asked Coach Corbs about this. Candace Story-Lee is special. We all know that. What has she meant to Vanderbilt University?
Well, having watched Candace as a basketball player, I feel like I've watched her life grow, both as a student athlete, as an early professional here in compliance, watching David take her on as an intern, watch her become professional with David, and then becoming an athletic director at the most difficult time that you could, which was right in the middle of COVID. The thing I can say about Candace Story-Lee is, first of all, I love her. Second of all, she's the most humanistic leader that I've seen at any level. And I feel like females, and there's some great male leaders out there, but the thing about males in general is we take. We've never given. We don't know how to give life. We've never given birth. And the thing about females is they're givers. They're just that's a fiber of them. They're always giving and giving and giving and giving. And for someone like her to be in this position, I've watched her hire. I've watched her let go, and I'm not going to say fire. I've watched her let go. Yeah. And the cool thing about Candace is she can let a person go professionally, but still retain the relationship with that person after they're gone. I think she has a phenomenal way of communicating. She's going to continue to learn how to be an athletic director. But when you look at people that you want to be with, she always talks up to people. She never talks down to people. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I've just enjoyed being her friend more than anything else. I mean, I'm a baseball coach. She's an athletic director, but throw away the titles. She's just a special human being that's helped move a part of a university and made it better because she's facilitated an environment to make other people around her better. And I love her for it.
How about this guy?
Awesome.
That is dope. That's something I've been wanting to get from, like, when we have Clark Lee on, we had Coach, golly, I just went blank on the basketball coach. That's wild right there.
Stackhouse?
No, but after Stackhouse, who's the basketball coach now? That's wild. It's crazy. It's like,
my brain first too.
Yeah, Mark, yeah. Byington, when we had him on, that was wild.
I have an excuse.
Yeah, we don't.
Well, I need her. I'm still recovering from yesterday.
Yeah, I need her too.
Yeah, you got an excuse. Yeah.
So, but I've always wanted to hear them, especially people that have been tenured over there or went to school there, you know what I'm saying, because of the effect and impact that David Williams had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And him leaving suddenly, passing away suddenly like he did for her to get her flowers. Like, I don't think she gets enough of it. You know, especially in the SEC, being the first black African-American AD coming after David Williams, the footprint that he left, to fill that void and to do it the way she did. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, that wasn't no easy job to come in with pushback that you getting to try to break down walls. And I'm talking about walls inside of their
From
university.
the academic to the
like
athletics side.
right. Like, you know,
And shout
saying
out
we
to
need to come
Chancellor
along.
Dearmeyer,
Yeah.
too, for giving her the opportunity to break those
Right.
walls down.
Like, we think about the Tennessees, the Auburns, the Alabamas, the Floridas. Like, those are athletic schools when you
They're
first
all
think
in
about
step.
it. They're in.
Yeah.
They're in on it. But
Vanderbilt
to get
was
Vandy,
not in
they wasn't.
step.
So for her to get to where they are now, like, she should
Well,
get
then
more
you
praise.
Add to it, too, which obviously it's close to my heart, but the start of, or the bring back of volleyball.
Yeah.
And what they've done for them from a
That's a big
resource
step.
standpoint, scholarship. I mean, like, you know, the NCAA allows 18 full scholarships
Mm-hmm.
now. You don't have to give all of them. And listen, I get it. Some of it has to do with Title IX, right? But
right.
Vanderbilt has made sure that volleyball has all 18 scholarships.
Right.
Like I said, they have 6 jerseys.
Right.
Basically, you know, Candace is like, hey, coach, what do you want to do for jerseys? Well, how many does basketball have? Oh, I think like 6. Okay, cool. That's what volleyball is going to have.
Yeah.
And Candace Lee is like, yep,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
I mean, she's done a phenomenal job. And you're so right about breaking down the barriers within that university. And like I said, shout out to Dearmeyer, too, for allowing that to happen and allowing that communication to happen.
And that's a process.
Well, we appreciate Corbs coming on yesterday and for doing what he does. We like to go big picture with people, and he certainly enjoys the opportunity to go down that path, and we certainly appreciate that. You will hear from Tony Vitello a little bit later, as we had him on the day before yesterday. Sleigh Dog, Tennessee, Lady Vols leading Oklahoma 3-1 in the top of the 6th. They have runners on first and second.
Yeah, ain't nobody coming to play around. That's what they're saying going into the 6th at the top of it right now. So the coach from Oklahoma, she had to walk out there and talk to her players like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. What we going to do? I just seen the little bip, bam, boom right up the bait, right up between shortstop and second. Like, what you going to do? Y'all ain't going to dive and go get it? Center field got to come out and get it. So now we getting 2 on when it should have been 1 on or a double play, but y'all ain't really feeling it like we supposed to be feeling it. So Lady Vols say, you know what? We going to keep doing what we doing. We only got 1 out. We still in the box. Let's go paint the town red, because ain't no love in Oklahoma. Lady Vols up 3-1, 2 on, 1 out. Top of the 6.
Unreal.
Laura says,
We in there.
Slay play-by-play brought to you by?
That's brought to you by, we got to get somebody that's brought to you by.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bad Knees Incorporated. I don't know, we got to find somebody. Who want the juice bar? Somebody.
Scoop says, hell yeah, Slay, this is what we need. Play-by-play by Slay cannot be beat.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was a nice hit too, man. Little divers went diving, and they couldn't come up with it. Ball straight up the gap.
Little divers
The
went
gut.
diving.
What's the gap or the gut straight up behind the pitcher? Like straight up. The little gap.
I mean, it's kind of the Bermuda Triangle, sort of.
We're right in the Bermuda. Here we go again.
Kenny the mailman. Next up on
Kenny!
3. So, Kenny, what's up, man?
Hey, Kenny.
Radio family, nothing surprised me about Hall of Fame Ron. I was heading to work 5 or 6 Saturday mornings ago, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was talking about Augusta with the golf voice. You remember that, Ron? Yeah, that shocked me.
It shocked me
that
too.
did shock me. I love this last 45 minutes. This puts a lot in perspective. You just mentioned the 19 straight tournament appearances.
Mm-hmm.
That's at a school that wins and nothing else. It's not a school that's conducive to winning. And compare that, the powerhouse Kentucky basketball program, super recruiting, super funded. They haven't been to 19 straight tournaments. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And this is something hardly anybody will ever know about. I'm not going to mention the names because it's personal. But my friend's son, played for Coach Corbin. It's passed away. It's been about 8 or 9 years ago in a tragic accident. Mm-hmm. The mother and father are still included in team activities to this day.
I think I know what you're
Every
talking
now
about.
and then, He calls my friend to come give the team a pep talk. He calls him his encouragement coach. It has meant a world of difference. It was a lifeline to my friend and his wife. So there are things that you don't know about that's going on, and they'd probably pull my fingers off if I told you that.
Yep.
But this goes beyond, being rivals of someone, like you mentioned, Coach Barnes' name. When people do stuff like that, you pull for them no matter what color they wear.
Yep.
Right.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Kenny. I'm glad you
Kenny.
shared that. Yeah, we all know stories about Coach Corbin and some of the things that he does that no one knows about, and same with Rick Barnes. I mean, same. So having said all that, I know as well as you guys do, the Monroe Carroll Jr. Vanderbilt Children's Hospital is very, very important to Coach Corbin and his wife Maggie, and they spend a lot of time over there.
Yeah.
Let me say that. 615-737-1045. Tyler in Kentucky. Tyler, what's up, brother?
What's up? Go on the leadership note. On the 1 to 3 show, they mentioned Jeffrey Simmons not being at OTAs for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think that's like anything of note?
Nope.
Not at all.
I mean,
I don't either.
thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. I don't mean to be that brief, but I mean, because this is sports talk radio, but one word I think suffices.
Vets, you were on with Savage. Did y'all talk about that? Y'all
No, we didn't. We didn't
We'll
get
have
to
him
it,
on
but-
though. I know his kind of feeling as far as the vets showing up. Like, dog, when you're a vet, like, these are not necessarily for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zeph asked yesterday in my ear when we were off, what about Stephon Diggs that was floating around, him being on the yard and not being at OTAs? I don't get over guys that are healthy and know what their job is. I'm cool with it, man. At this time.
So we've had Albert Hainsworth on a couple of times over the last few months, and do you like? People like to say, and I think the narrative is there, like, oh, Big Albert had the big season, the 2 big seasons prior to the contract year, and we asked him about that, and it wasn't because of that.
Yeah,
it was because he got with his personal coach and developed moves that catered to him that enabled him to become a better player, and you asked him, Slay, if there was anything he could do differently in his career. And he said, yeah, getting with that guy sooner.
Yeah.
And so, like, those were OTA opportunities where he was working on his game by himself with his coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you reach a certain level, voluntary means something different than maybe to a young guy.
I also think key part of it is as long as Big Jeff is communicating with the organization too.
Right.
There's obviously videos out there. You see what he's doing, working out, putting all the, all the hashtags out there on sacks and all of that. So it's not like there's video of him partying on a boat somewhere and not showing up. Like there's video out there, and I think the communication part is the most important part. As long as the head coach knows what's going on and knows the reason and whatever else, then I'm good with it. Now, I will say this. Denard Wilson talked about, and Callahan has talked about, the need for leadership. And Denard Wilson talked yesterday about the lack of, true leadership from a standpoint of it's not just by example. You don't just lead by example because that's your job, is basically what he said. And so I think you could say, maybe if you want to point that out with Big Jeff, you can say, okay, this team is clearly making leadership a big emphasis this season because they felt like they didn't have enough of it last year. You're one of those guys. Maybe you should be there.
We'll hear from Denard Wilson, the Titans defensive coordinator, about all of that and Big Jeff not being there. Next, stay tuned. Also, Slam Dog might have a little softball update. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, the trucks are rolling through. You see construction happening all the time. You see the cranes. Well, the cranes ain't got nothing to do with this right here because you're talking about the ones that are down here that's driving through traffic. These big trucks, yeah, they get a little selfish with the road sometimes. So may just bang you. Get your little car just banged up for no apparent reason. That ain't fair, man. 80,000-pound truck colliding with a regular car, not a fair fight at all. You know what else isn't a fair fight? You versus the insurance companies. Because you better believe the trucking companies got a team of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible to get you right out the door. Now, this is where Bart Dorman Injury Law comes in. Blair Dorman and his team, they know how to take on the trucking companies, and they fight for the compensation you deserve. They've been standing up for people in our community for decades. They're going to continue to do that. You got to have this number, 615-242-9000. 615-242-9000. If you or someone you love has been in a big truck accident, do not go at it alone. Call Bart Dorman Injury Law, protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid.
Good afternoon. It's 4:04. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In NFL news, the Dolphins have had trade discussions with the Pittsburgh Steelers about tight end Jonnu Smith, according to Adam Schefter. Smith expressed an interest in reworking his deal that is scheduled to pay him $4.8 million this season, leading Miami to seek out a potential trade partner. Tennessee softball currently in their opening round of the College Softball World Series right now versus number 2 Oklahoma, letting balls up 3-1 entering the 7th inning, looking to hold on and move on to the next round. Tonight, the Pacers and Knicks face off for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Madison Square Garden. The Pacers lead the series 3-1 and will move on to face the OKC Thunder in the NBA Finals with a win. First tip-off for that one is at 7 p.m. on TNT. For our foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. I actually see blue sky out there. Look at that. Right there. See that, Slade?
Blue sky.
Blue sky right there.
In the middle of gray
There's actually
skies.
some sunshine, too.
Look at you drinking water 2 days in a row.
Good job, Babs.
It's not water.
I mean, I assume that's water. It's not water?
No.
How do you know it is not vodka?
It's high noon. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hell yeah,
Hey,
let's go up.
Listen, you deserve it. I mean, this is
I'm
hour
kidding.
number.
It's actually Sprite.
This is hour number 6 for you today.
Yeah.
Man,
Let's go.
I turned y'all on about 6:15, and like you were so awake, man. I was like, look at my girl go.
Oh, I was on one this morning. Also on lots of caffeine.
Yeah, brewed up by Scooter's Coffee.
That's right.
Brewed up.
Slay Dog be in there tomorrow. Savage Radio.
No, I did not once call it 3HL.
Good job.
I did twice.
I know.
Yesterday, I did twice, and you texted me
you
after
one
the
of
second.
them.
Yeah, after the second time, I'm like, you just wait. You just wait.
I almost did a couple times.
I even had it written down in front of me. Ramon and Will, brewed up by Scooter's Coffee. I had it written in front of me, and I still. More 3HL next.
Just habit, man.
Slay Dog and his Tennessee softball shirt.
I'm in the building.
When did you get that?
I
I haven't seen that before. That's that's that Summit Blue too. I love it.
Yeah, I pulled this on out. When I go get this? When I went up to do that.
The speaking thing a couple weeks ago. So Slay
I
Dog.
was looking for their jerseys, but I couldn't find it. That was at a whole different store. I couldn't ride out.
Oklahoma had a runner on first in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah.
Tennessee Lady Vols with a 3-1 lead over the Oklahoma Sooners, number 2 Oklahoma. And Oklahoma had, like I said, runner on first, 1 out. They got the fly ball to left. And
Fly
then,
ball.
And that was out number 2. Then what happened?
Was Savia Morgan. That's who I just gave a shout out to with
From
that over there in
Columbia,
left field.
Tennessee.
Yep, got that
Home
out.
of Ronnie Pillow.
And she's at bat right now. But before even getting to that, then, you know what I mean, little shotgun back to Pickens. Pickens, you know what I mean, scoop that bad boy left hand and then go on a little baby underhand toss to first base to go and get out of the inning. Now you're in the top of the 7th. You know what I'm starting to figure out?
What are you starting to figure out, Slay Dog?
Top of the 7th, 3-1, Lady Vols up.
I know this. You have figured out that your knee is stupid.
It's no dumb, too.
Yeah, dumb.
Stupid
Sorry.
and no, it's both stupid and dumb.
I didn't. I didn't.
That's
know
a
you
stupid.
wanted to go there.
If it was like a metric for stupid and dumb knees, mine would be at the top. Anytime you hurt yourself, we're not doing anything, and it ain't me doing it. It's the own knee. The knee doing what it want to do. So
Bone on bone, man.
it's dumb.
That is dumb. What else did you figure out?
Oh, I figured out, man, softball got a little, Savia Morgan, straight up the gut, boom, first base, safe. Here we go. Oklahoma 120 pitches in, man. Like, somebody might need to go talk to her.
This is the most energized single call I have ever heard.
I'm like,
I love his
she
single
just
calls.
oh my gosh, this has to be like a triple or
I know.
home run or something. What happened? No.
His single calls are like homers. Like inside the park homers.
Yeah, this day, man, you ain't many times you're going to get on.
So speaking of Carlin Pickens, who you mentioned had
She
that.
hit 79 miles an hour the other day.
Light work.
So
I mean, that's a big old ball coming at you at 79 miles an hour.
I just sent you guys a video from Holly Rowe that she took last night with the Tennessee players, interviewing them before their college softball World Series start. Look how big her hands are. Like, they make Holly Rowe's hands look like a toddler's hands.
Really?
I just sent you the video. Carlin Pickens has absolute monster hands.
So we were talking during the break. I love her demeanor as an athlete. Like, she's always positive. So even if, like, she gets a ball 4 call, she's nodding her head yes. Like, everything, no matter what happens, is positive with her, and certainly appreciate that. They keep showing her parents in the stands, too.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine?
They got crazy energy in these games, man. They seem a little bit more
Could you imagine
rowdy than the baseball games.
watching your kid out there as a softball pitcher? Because they pitch every game at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Pickens would be a good piano player.
So would you. You got long fingers.
I have really long fingers.
So Babs
I
has
missed my
like
calling.
Babs has a
So did Pickens.
small like mitt
Actually, I
to
think
her
she
hand.
found it.
Is that what you call it?
Palm?
Yeah, palm. You have a small palm, but you have long fingers.
Yeah.
It's
Very
like you
long.
have a short torso, but you have long legs.
Yes, exactly. I'm missing a vertebrae. We've established this.
Yeah. Okay, so 3-1, Lady
Yep.
Vols, top of the 7th, runner on first, nobody out.
Yeah, 2-1 right now. 2-1, 2-1, 2-2, 1 in the hole.
He's telling you guys the count for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Balls and strikes.
Yeah.
And 1 in the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know where that one came from.
That's like a military thing, like World War II.
It just let you know.
Throw a grenade in the hole.
Keep your head on the swivel. It's coming from anywhere.
I mean, yeah. Joking there.
I like the little face mask on the helmets of the lady.
Right,
Vols.
so you don't get hit in the face with the softball.
Yeah, but everybody.
Because
What was that?
the pitcher's mound is, I keep talking about this, it's so close to the batter. Like,
Yeah, the softball pitchers that don't wear a face mask,
that's crazy.
Uh-oh.
they are
Pop up.
Bold.
very bold.
Yep.
Pop up the right.
I love Slade. Like, we're having a conversation, Slade's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, little pop up the right.
You sound like Carl Lewis when he's singing the national anthem.
Okay, not every play has to be like,
No, it was about to be something.
but it wasn't. It was a pop-up.
But what if they drop it then, Babs? Then what we got?
Well, then you can go nuts.
Yeah, but then it's too late.
See,
then it's going to be
Slade,
like,
you're
it's hindsight. Anybody could have did that.
Okay.
It's like when you're doing play-by-play, like, you can't, like, put all the energy on the front end because if nothing happens, then
think
it's just...
You absolutely can. See what I'm saying? Look, bobble right there, bounce up, shortstop tried to go grab it, dove, backwards dive though.
Oh,
Backwards dive with,
Backwards dive.
tried to backhand field it and get on past it. Left field had to scoop it up. See, here you go. Look, boom. Shortstop glove. Okay, second tried to cover. That was a little shift in. So that was third base. Shortstop tried to cover third base. Boom, drop in the left field into the grass.
as much as I love Slade's play-by-play, actually the reaction to the replay might be better than the play-by-play.
I'm going to get it right. See, Babs, if I would have waited, then everybody would be like, oh, that's too smooth. Can't nobody be that smooth.
You know who's smooth? Denard Wilson.
2 on, 1 out, 3-1, Lady Vols.
I think Denard Wilson's watching this Lady Ball softball game.
Oh,
Nah, he probably
no,
went
he's
to
listening to
Arkansas
this. He
or
doesn't
something.
need to
I'm
watch it. He can
thinking,
listen to
hell
Slade.
no.
Nobody needs to watch it.
He's
Just
kinda
listen to
busy.
Slade.
Yeah, just listen to me.
Backwards diver.
No, backhand, back dive.
You had the backhand. You had that right.
Back
And then
dive.
That's
man.
not a...
Have you ever
up in
dove
the air.
backwards into a pool?
Pop-up.
What? What you say?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this one's in the air. Oh, that's
No,
pop-up.
that ain't
You did do that a
that never
minute ago.
happened, Babsy.
No, you
Your
did it.
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Babsy,
you did
get
it a
back in the
minute ago.
dugout.
As
Get it
Tom
right.
You
Tier
have to
said
dug
in
out.
our chat, I take it this is why they don't want the TV on. Laugh out
And
loud.
guess what? Top tier, it's not on. It's never been on for me because I sit with it to my back.
Oh, man.
I have a computer, though. Thanks, Savage.
Can I get this Denard Wilson cut out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But has Zeph ever dove backwards into a pool?
Into
Into a pool. How would you dive backwards into a pool?
dive. I wouldn't dive backward. That seems dangerous.
Not
That
athletic
sounds like
enough.
that sounds
My
like
bad.
a
That's me.
backflip.
That's me for not knowing the athlete I was talking to. That's my fault. I asked a better athlete. I'm sorry. Babsy, have you ever dove backwards into a pool before?
I'm not participating.
Well, give us Denard Wilson.
Denard Wilson probably has. He talked about the Titans leadership going into 2025. No Big Jeff out there.
I think last year the leadership could always be better. I think that as they look back and we looked back at ourselves, some guys had self-reflections on how could they help other players. We talk about leading by example is not what you want to do. It's your job to show up and play hard. That's your job. But if you're not bringing people to the well with you, if you're not taking them to the water and they're not walking with you hand to hand, you're not a leader. So right now the guys understand that leadership isn't just about showing up and do your job. This is your profession. Leading is bringing other people with you and teaching the young guys and teaching even the guys that's been here to be the best versions of themselves. And I think that everybody on this team right now has gravitated to that message. And it's been sprinkled down from the top down from our head coach. He's done an excellent job this offseason. Just like we all say, it's self-evaluations. He's self-evaluated some things that he could have did well, and he's implementing it with us. And we're feeding it and we're running into it. And the players love it. The energy, the effort, the attention to detail, understanding, it's not about the plays that you should make, is the plays that get you beaten in this game. Mm-hmm. And the guys thoroughly understand that we lost games because we beat ourselves. And we're trying to get that off of the radar so we give ourselves a chance to line up and be competitive every game that we in this year.
Two things. That goes right in line with what J.C. Latham told Bussing with the boys.
Yeah.
We were doing our job. They were just like the line of demarcation, so to speak, is very thin in the NFL. And he also talked about you got to take the guy out of the water, like you were talking about. You can't just dive in backwards by yourself.
No, and you can't make them drink. But you can show them how to get to the water. So they were getting there. All the mistakes that compounded throughout the season, that was the problem. It's cool if one person make a mistake. But we can't have 7 guys making a mistake. Hey, you're going to get beat. That's what I took from him. He sounded like Avery Johnson, too.
That's what I keep saying.
You said that this morning.
That's what I keep saying.
Yeah.
I literally, during that cut, I told Zeph, please pull a cut from Avery Johnson. He sounds exactly like him.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you said that. Tony says, I love 3HL so much. Ramon Foster says, LOL, at a better athlete. Good athlete coming up next. Greg Cosell. We're going to talk about some of the teams on the Titans schedule from a film evaluation standpoint.
Okay.
Cosell next. Slay, are the bases loaded?
Bases are loaded up. Loaded bases, like Nip Nelson said, for the Lady Vols. 1 out.
There's no place to put anybody.
No, except home. Only place to go.
That's some analysis. All right, we love our local sports around Middle Tennessee, and so does the local team, the Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, always supporting all of our local sports and always a strong supporter of women and girls in sports as well. And the Legacy Group wants to congratulate top mid-state softball teams from Donaldson Christian Academy, Green Hill, and Liberty Creek for their outstanding results in the state playoffs. Look, we're all about softball around here. They also want to congratulate Lipscomb Academy making the state playoffs for the first time ever. Terrific teams in this area, and the Legacy Group wants to wish them continued success in the future. Appreciate their support of all of our local teams. That brought to you by the Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, Tennessee. If you have $1 million or more to invest and you want to do it with a local team, call financial advisors Robert Reynolds, Brent Thompson, David Reynolds, Jim Candela at 615-721-4921, 721-4921. See if they can help you achieve your financial goals. For their client relationship summary disclosures, visit ubs.com/relationship summary. UBS Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA/SIPC.
3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Well,
What we got
Incubus?
going here, Slay Dog? 3-1 Lady Vols, bottom of the 7th. This is the last opportunity for Oklahoma.
That's right. One on, got one out, and you got a 0-1 count. And Pickens is dealing, getting players to foul out. So listen, put it in play. We'll double them up and get out of here and go play the next day.
Oklahoma was a huge favorite in this game. It was like plus 520.
As they should have been.
For the Lady Vols.
As they should have been, too.
So, what do we do every Thursday at 420? We go to Greg Cosell from NFL Films. Greg, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Hi, Cosell.
We're doing well. So we're interspersing Slay play-by-play of College World Series softball into the tapestry of today's show.
And amazingly, he's rooting for Tennessee. Can you believe it?
Shocker, isn't it?
That's right, Cosell.
You should hear this play-by-play, Cosell. It's something.
I mean, Slay, what's going on right now? There's a runner on first. What we got, a 3-1 count?
It's a 3-1 count. Yeah, runner on first for Oklahoma. Got one in the hole, one out. And
I don't know
Pickens
what one in the hole means.
Yeah, it really it's just like it's like when people put paprika on food. Like it really ain't got no flavor or anything.
Yes, it does. If you don't have paprika on
deviled eggs,
then you're not doing it right.
But it's like
you ain't Southern.
It's just So that's what I'm saying. So I'm telling you, one in the hole. I'm Southern.
Thank you, Cosell.
I agree with that.
And he's not even
pop
from the South.
pop out, shortstop, boom. 2 outs, one on.
Slay, that's what I played in high school, Slay, shortstop.
Really?
Because you know why, Cosell? Because you're an athlete. Athletes, that's what athletes spot.
Ramon Foster on YouTube. Hell of a breakdown, Slavage.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Slay, I was the old New York City shortstop, and a very long time ago.
Hey, it don't matter. They can't erase what we were.
You're too tall to be a middle infielder, Cosell.
Cosell was moving. That's what that was.
I was tall. When I was 13, I was 5'1". When I was 14, I was 6'2".
Wow. That had to mess with your basketball shot.
Cosell, when I was 14. It
messed with my knees. It messed with my knees.
You were 6'2" at 14. When I was 14, I went to the 9th grade. I'm over there at Hume Falk High School, and we go to PE class, first PE class, and they measure everybody. I was 4'11". Uh-oh.
Wow.
What happened, Slay?
Yeah, no, I was 6. Well, then I got to be 6'4", but unfortunately, I just had a physical, and I'm not quite 6'4" anymore. It's funny how that works.
Isn't that funny?
See?
Yeah, Babs was listed as 5'7" as a volleyball player at Auburn. She just found out recently she's 5'4".
Yep. It's that age thing, Cosell.
I can't hear you guys.
Uh-oh.
He can't hear us.
Zeph, he can't hear us.
Slay, what just happened?
A little ball hit it right by second base. Second base tried to dive, couldn't come up with it. Arms wasn't long enough. Center field had to back him up. Boom, cut off at third. So now you got runners on the corners and 2 outs right now, man. Pickens, they came out to talk to her. Like, can you get us through this inning? It's 127 pitches pitched. It's time to go on and put the baby to sleep.
And there you go. All right, let's talk to Cosell.
So a couple of weeks ago, we started to break down the Titans' schedule from a film standpoint. We went through the Broncos, we went through the Rams, we went through the Colts. Let's talk about the Texans, Cosell. What did you see from them?
They had 4 on the road to start. Yeah.
So the Texans had injury issues at wide receiver. Obviously, what were there differences in C.J. Stroud's play from year 1 to year 2? What did you see there?
Yeah, I thought there was a growing. He went through some growing pains. I mean, obviously they made the playoffs, won again in the first round, made it to the second round. Their O-line a year ago wasn't quite as good as it was in his rookie season, and there were more throws where there were bodies around him, which he didn't face that much, obviously, at Ohio State, and he didn't really face it a lot as a rookie in the league. And they obviously traded Laramie Tunsil, so now they signed Cam Robinson, but they also drafted Ursary. So I don't know how that'll play out. But, Yeah, last year, Stroud was a little uncomfortable with people around him. I think that's part of learning to be an NFL quarterback because you've got to be able to make throws with people around you when the pocket is squeezed. And at his core, he's a pocket quarterback. So it was a learning year for him. And obviously, they still made the playoffs. But they're a good football team, and they're really good on defense.
And we'll get back with you about the Texans, but Slay has an unfortunate update for the Lady Vols.
Man. Laid that thing over the plate. Home run. Oklahoma clear the bases. Baby want to stay up past bedtime tonight. Oklahoma.
Walk-off.
Walk-off home run. Woo, 4-3.
Ball game.
Blouses.
So you said uncomfortable with people around him. It's interesting that they moved Laramie Tunsil also. So I'm trying to figure out what the AFC South is.
Well, I mean, Houston's clearly the best team. They've been in the playoffs the last 2 years.
Right.
And I think talk about Indy and Jacksonville, they're unknowns right now, just as Tennessee is. I mean, it's easy to look at Tennessee and feel like they're a bad team. I think that they've improved in significant areas. They're going to play with a rookie quarterback. Obviously, you never know what that means until they play. But Houston, you'd have to say, is the class of the division right now. You just don't know what Jacksonville and Indianapolis are.
Speaking of Jacksonville, and that wasn't on the docket today, but since we're talking about Jacksonville, what do you see with Trevor Lawrence? Because they've got so much money tied into him that they can't move him. Has he hit his ceiling, do you think?
That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously they've got Liam Cohen now as the head coach. He'll put in what is essentially a Rams type offense, which I hate to be cliched, but it is more quote unquote quarterback friendly. You're going to get a lot more tight splits. You're going to get a lot more motions. What these things end up doing is defining your primary read more quickly and more easily for a quarterback. Now, obviously, you're still going to get to third and long, and that's where a quarterback has to be able to function. Lawrence has been inconsistent. He's another guy that really does struggle with people around him. And, it's funny. When I did him coming out of Clemson, I talked about that. You had to watch a lot of tape to find plays of him in college with people around him because of the nature of Clemson's offense, which is really not an NFL-type offense. And when he had people around him, because he's a long strider with a little bit of an elongated motion, he would hurry his delivery and he'd struggle. And that's shown up in the NFL. But he's certainly a talented kid. We'll see. I mean, like I said, with Liam Cohen there, I would imagine that the offense will have a much more efficient feel to it.
Greg Cosell with us from NFL Films. Film evaluation is what he does.
I was going to ask you if you liked Lawrence out of college. I can't remember.
Well, as you probably do remember, Dawn, everybody said he was generational, which is a word I would never use to describe any player.
I remember you saying that,
level, but certainly not someone coming out of college.
Yeah.
I watched his tape, and it's funny. I even had this conversation with a coach at the time, and I've spoken to people who've coached Lawrence, and he's talented, but he's not as talented as I think people think. Now, when I say that, I don't mean he's not talented, but, people just assume, this guy's, top 2-3 talent in the league. He's not at that level. He's got a good arm, not a great arm. He is mobile. Obviously, he can make throws. We've seen him have success in the league, but I think he needs an offense to really become efficient, and that's why I'm very curious to see him this season when Liam Cohen is there. But in some ways, he needs to be a little bit rehabilitated.
Interesting. Okay, moving on to another quarterback that, you kind of have similar questions about. Well, maybe not to that point. But anyway, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
It's funny, you asked me about Kyler Murray because there's a few quarterbacks in the league, and we're talking about a couple of them. Lawrence and Murray's another example where I just can't, and I've watched probably every game that these guys have played. I just can't get a great feel for Kyler Murray. I just don't exactly know what he is. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously gifted. I mean, he's got a good arm. He's very used, because he's small, he's actually very used to throwing the ball off balance. So in his case, that you can't say that's a negative because he's just, just over 5'10", so he had to learn how to throw the ball that way, and he does that very, very well. So that's not a negative. And he's obviously incredibly mobile. He's an explosive mover. So there's a lot of things to really like about Kyler Murray. And I'm being honest, I just can't get a feel for why he's so inconsistent. And I hate that word because it doesn't, it's just one of those words. But it just seems that you don't know what you're going to get with Kyler Murray on a week-to-week basis. Now, has their O-line been really good? No. And shorter quarterbacks normally need really good O-lines because they're shorter. They have to have more space. We saw that, for instance, with Bryce Young in Carolina. They just need more space. Obviously, they signed him, just like Lawrence. He's not going anywhere. But there's just, you'd like to feel as a coach that you know what you're going to get week after week, pretty much snap after snap. That's the way coaches think with Kyler Murray. And I just don't think he's been that guy up to this point.
Greg Cosell with us from NFL Films. To kind of close out that 3-game road streak there, they go to Las Vegas, play the Raiders. Man, they're putting together some offensive weapons, man, with Brock Bowers at tight end. Now they get Genty. Yeah. Geno Smith comes in for Pete Carroll. What do you think about the Raiders?
Well, they've got a professional quarterback now, number one. They're obviously going to run the football. You don't draft Genty with the 6th pick in the draft, not to give him the ball meaningful amount. He'll be the foundation, the starting point of their offense. Brock Bowers is just outstanding. Their big question is their O-line. It's still a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah.
I think at the receiver position, we'll see how that plays out. They drafted Jack Beck in the 2nd round, a player I really, really like. To me on tape, he kind of reminded me a little bit of Nakua, just big, physical, terrific run after catch, but not purely explosive. And then they drafted the Tennessee kid, Dante Thornton, the 6'5" kid who ran a 4.3 at the combine.
Yeah, you like him, don't you?
His tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched his tape, and that's legit. He can run. The question is, can a guy like that become more than just a vertical dimension? And that's what you hope. That's why he gets drafted in the 4th round and not the 2nd round or the 1st round, because 6'5" guys that run 4.3 are extremely rare, but you're just not exactly sure if he's any more than that. And you hope you can teach him to become more than that, because if he can be more than that, then he's pretty big time receiver. But that's a total unknown. But they'll be better. They did not really have a professional quarterback a year ago.
I love that you say it that way.
Yeah. Looking at what Vrabel's doing with New England, putting some pieces around Drake May as far as protection goes. Yeah. Well, your thoughts about what he's doing defensively, and what he's doing to try to protect Drake May.
Well, you guys know Vrabel. I mean, that's, you can say what you want about him, and obviously he may not be everybody's cup of tea personality-wise, but he's a damn good football coach, and his teams play hard. They'll be good on defense. I mean, they put together a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
And offensively, obviously they addressed the O-line by signing Will Campbell, by drafting Will Campbell, by signing Morgan Moses. They signed Garrett Bradbury to play center. I'm not a big fan of his, but he's certainly, a solid NFL player. And then they drafted Travion Henderson, in the 2nd round. So they'll have a nice backfield combo. This will be a competitive team. That AFC East is going to be a lot more interesting this year than it has been in the last couple of years. I'm no good at I know fans, when they see the schedule, they decide what a team's record is going to be. I'm not really good at that. I don't really do that. But I mean, this team won't be a pushover now. They'll be a solid team, and defensively, I think they'll just they'll have Vrabel will make them better. I mean, it'll be his defense, and they'll be better. And they brought in some guys that are really culture guys. Like Robert Spillane is a really good linebacker who's not really known very well because he played in Vegas for the last couple of years, but he's a really good player.
Sounds like a detective. Starsky and Hutch had to deal with or something. Next week.
Starsky and Hutch, I used to watch that show when I was young. That was a great show.
It was a movie too, right? No, I'm thinking Turner and Hooch. Sorry.
It was a movie.
No, Starsky and Hutch was too.
Okay.
Yeah, they did make a remake.
The show back in the day was really good with David Soul and was it Jan Michael Glazer, I believe? Yeah.
Nice.
Not J.
back.
Michael Vincent. That
Before
was a
your
different
time,
show,
Dawn.
but
Way
yes.
before Dawn's time.
I love that you get my old guy references there, Cosell. That's really good.
Well, that's because I'm an old guy. Brent,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, me too. When we visit next week, we'll talk about the Chargers, the Seahawks, the Browns, maybe the 49ers, and big contract for the quarterback out there in San Francisco.
And I'll be in Nashville in 2 weeks.
Hey.
Oh, yay.
What are you doing in Nashville?
Yeah, what are you-
CMA Fest. You doing that?
No, I'm coming to the mandatory minicamp. We're talking football, Brent.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Mayor's talking-
listen, it's not far out of reach there. You do like country music also, so.
I do, I think that's next weekend, right?
Yeah, I
It
think
is next week, yep.
Yeah, it is. All right, Cosell, we'll talk next week, man. Have a great weekend, my friend.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Cosell.
How good is that dude?
Oh, always.
Are you okay
Consistent.
with the walk-off 3-run shot?
Oh yeah, I just hope Pickens can recover from that.
Yeah.
Like, you 1 out away, dog. Like that's
There's a lot of people in the chat saying it was terrible coaching on the Balls part.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you.
They came out and talked to it right before that bet.
Pitch count has nothing to do with it.
They don't.
Okay. Not in softball.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. Now, she could have taken her out for sure, but pitch count is way different in softball than baseball. I've talked to plenty of coaches about that.
They throw her like every game.
Oh, she'll pitch tomorrow against Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that can be. Woo,
I mean, that's a lot of pitches.
man, that's a lot on your shoulders. Like you 1 out away.
Yeah. Now mentally, yes.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like you can get that out.
Physically, your body is actually more inclined to do that underhand motion than the overhead motion.
That's exactly
That's
right.
why they can go so long and
pitch every game.
Yeah.
Like she's pitched 3 games in a weekend like 7 times this year, something like that.
Really?
Like it's yeah. Babs, you want to play a little bit of Will Levis when we come back?
Sure.
What did he sound like yesterday?
Like somebody
depressed
rolled over his cat.
We'll be right back. Oh, Babsy. I love that you, I knew what you were going to say there, but I love that you take Levis as a cat guy, not a dog guy. It's pretty funny to me. Mayonnaise man. Visited with my guy, John Purtle, about a month ago and talked with him. He's president and CEO of a great company called eSpaces, and you need to investigate this. And they offer opportunities for work-related responsibilities for so many different avenues. Whether you need like space to hold a meeting, maybe you need space to work one day, like an one-off thing. Maybe you need someplace to work every day. These guys can help you out, and all you need to do is go to espaces.com. That's the website, espaces.com. They do have tours available now, so you can go into one of their 15, soon to be 15 locations, and check out eSpaces. So you can see where they are, espaces.com. They do have 2 new locations coming in July, Cool Springs at Corporate Center, Brentwood at City Park. So what they do is they cater to entrepreneurs, teams, established professionals, and they have private offices. They have team suites. They have meeting rooms that are fully equipped, 24/7 access, flexible terms. Just talk with them about that, and they will be able to help you out. Beautiful professional spaces that are move-in ready. Whether you're scaling up or just getting started, eSpaces provides flexibility without compromise. Again, tours available now. Reserve your space now. eSpaces.com. That's eSpaces.com.
Welcome back in 3HL right on 104.5, The Zone.
Look at you.
Yeah, that's easy.
Was this
That's the
easy
easy part.
listening?
Do you
That's the easy
think
part.
part of your knee problem is the fact that your orange and white chair, which is spectacular and beautiful, is so short?
No, this came from years of playing.
Well,
That's all it
yes,
is.
I know, but like, what exacerbated
You can't
it?
blame it on a chair, yo. Like, it's a good job. I'm trying to look for things.
I mean, Milli Vanilli blamed it on the rain.
I would blame it on my truck before the chair, like, but that ain't got nothing to do with
Listen,
it.
y'all can say whatever you want about Milli
Just wear and
Vanilli
tear.
and lip
Milli
syncing and all.
Vanilli was awesome.
Those songs were great.
Have y'all went back and
Hot
looked at
take.
it? Have y'all
Hot
went back? Have y'all went back and listened to it lately?
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to blame it on the rain.
So
It's like-
who actually sang?
That's the good question.
I saw a documentary. This is going to shock y'all. I saw a documentary about
Shocker.
this,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the details, so I have nothing to offer other than the real singers were pissed off about whatever contract they had.
I mean, fair enough.
So they dogged them too.
Hey, speaking of documentaries,
Everybody got dogged.
we started watching the Osama bin Laden documentary
I mean,
on
all
Netflix.
all you have to do is go back. Oh, I want to see that.
It's-
Yep, I saw that.
So it's only three
Episodes.
episodes. It's fascinating.
Who's the guy that we had on that looked like Ron Howard? That
It was before me,
that
but
killed him.
you had him on at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because you distinctly remember what he looked you in the eye and
he
said.
said, basically the story was like the stealth Blackhawks, number one. Like I talked to someone in the military after that who is a Blackhawk pilot who said, I didn't know we had that technology.
Wow.
So they had the stealth Blackhawks. One of them
Sat down in the backyard.
they had to blow up
Yeah.
before they even went in. If I remember that correctly. But yeah, he said, there was a line of us that went in, and he said, I wasn't first. He said, I was like eighth or something.
Yeah.
Robert O'Neill was his name. Thank you, Zeph. And he wrote a book about it. But anyway, that's why he was at the Super Bowl. But like for us, like put yourself in our position. We had no idea we were going to talk to that guy. So like 1 minute you're talking to, I think we talked to Deontay Wilder, the boxer. And then we talked to Robert O'Neill. We had no idea we were going to talk to him. He sits down. They were like, here's his book. And so we're just having a conversation with the guy. Like, okay, tell us the story, And that's ultimately like if you guys, I don't know, young guys out there want to do podcasting or sports talk radio or whatever, like be a great storyteller. And that's what we try to do, okay? So he was. And so he said, he kind of went through the story. And he said they're going through the house and it's dark and there are screaming people because obviously, military's in there and so there are a lot of people in the house that don't know what's going on. And so as people come at them or they pass a room, they take, one guy will take the person downstairs and kind of put them in a holding position. And so he went from eighth to first. And by the time he gets up to the top, he opens the door and he said, man, I wish we could find this. So if you find lots of random 3HL interviews, you might need to find this one.
This one was like way back.
Because I'm not going to do it justice. But he said, I opened the door. I saw Osama bin Laden. He was standing in front of me. He did not have a vest on, meaning suicide, like a bomb thing. And he goes, I shot him twice in the head. He fell. I shot him again. And he said, he said before that, he said, I met Osama bin Laden and he died. That's how he described it.
Yeah.
And I put yourself in our position. So what do you say after that?
What? Seriously, you're just like,
What's your follow-up question? So I said,
I don't know if there is one.
Right. And I said, were you surprised that you made it up there without something happening? And he goes, oh, we all thought there would be explosives.
Yeah.
But like those guys, and I know a lot of people at 101st listen, and you guys are like nodding your head, and you all know what you do. But like that was their job, and he thought, they all thought that something was going to explode. Like, but they were there to do their job, and he did. But that line was incredible. I met Osama bin Laden and he died.
Well, so I think it was Robert O'Neill that said.
I think it was the. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think about what Super Bowl it was, and then that might help Zev.
It was before Minnesota.
Minnesota was your first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it was right before Minnesota. But anyway, I think it was O'Neill who said...
It was New York. It was New York, Zeph. Find the New York Super Bowl. That's the year.
This documentary, American Manhunt is what it's called on Netflix, by the way. It's basically like rare footage and interviews with CIA insiders, and it's really fascinating. And there's been a bunch of SEAL members who have said this is the most realistic documentary out there, that you will watch
now,
on the entire thing.
Let me say this about, what was his name again, Seth?
Robert O'Neill.
Robert O'Neill. Let me say this about Robert O'Neill. When these guys write books, like there's a ton of pushback from military people that are like, we don't tell our stories.
Exactly. Especially when you're a part of that SEAL team, right?
SEAL Team 6.
Yep.
All right. We did not get to Will Levis, but I think that was a good conversation to have.
Yeah. No, well, you guys know I don't watch anything. And so finally Mr. Babs was like, we are going to start watching something together. And he said, what about this? I was like, absolutely. I'm all in on that. Yeah. And it's really good.
Now I don't think it was New York. New York, we had Jesse Jackson. That was a different setup. So it was not New York. Anyway, we'll try to find it and play that for you. That is some compelling storytelling for sure, in the way that they were able to get that done and get out. So anyway, we will in the 5 o'clock hour. You will hear from Will Levis. You'll also hear from Tony Vitello. You will also hear from Big Savagery, Ramon Foster. That's coming up. Stay tuned. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Crazy analytics guy, but he knows what he's talking about. You know who knows what they're talking about when it comes to roofing? That would be North Point Roofing Systems, and they're right here local in Nashville. Lucky us. North Point Roofing Systems guiding you to protection, located in Brentwood, the Maryland Farms area. GAF Master Elite Roofer. Only the top 1% of roofers have that moniker, by the way. And they do a free drone inspection for you. So what they do, they come out about a 13-minute process where they fly their drone. You, the homeowner, then gets a report. 75 to 100 photos, 3D model, all the measurements, provides the report, whether you buy from them or not. And here's the beautiful thing about what they do with their drone. It's cutting edge, and they use an AI software technology to help diagnose roof quality and give you honest feedback on the health of your roof. And with all the storms that rolled through here, maybe that is what you are looking for and what you need. So all you need to do, tell them that Dawn on 3HL sent you, and go find them online. NorthPointRoofingSystems.com.
Good evening. It's 5:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. In NFL news, the Dolphins have had trade discussions with the Steelers about tight end Jonnu Smith, according to Adam Schefter. Smith expressed an interest in reworking his deal and is scheduled to pay him $4.8 million this season, leading Miami to seek out a trade partner. Heartbreak for Tennessee softball earlier today as they were walked off by Oklahoma in the opening round of the College Softball World Series. After Ella Parker's 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th inning, Tennessee will face number 3 Florida in the losers bracket on Friday night. Tonight, the Pacers and Knicks face off for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Madison Square Garden. Pacers lead the series 3-1, will move on to face the Thunder in the NBA Finals with a win, while the Knicks are playing for their playoff lives. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. on TNT. For your foundation repair and whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three at town, 104.5 The Zone. Bridge already with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Friday is almost here.
Come on, Friday.
Savage Radio in the morning, 6 to 10. Big Slay and Big Ramon Foster.
Yeah. What happened? Zeph, what happened? What happened during your update?
What happened, Zeph?
I started choking and coughed right in the middle of it.
Did you?
Yeah, right in the middle of it. Throat went dry.
Dang, Zephyr. You all right back up, big guy?
Yeah.
I will say this, after doing the 7 hours yesterday, I woke up this morning, my throat was like I couldn't talk.
Really?
And so I'm worried about Babsy waking up in the morning.
Nah, I got this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Babs. Knock it out. Knock it out the park.
How's your ear doing?
I can't hear out of it. And clearly I'm having a stroke and something else, according to WebMD, and a virus.
There she is.
And all the things.
She's Babsy. We would know if you were having a stroke. We could tell.
Good?
Yeah. Like she would be saying weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would
I'm
know.
okay. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, there are signs of a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very visible.
Now, women's signs, very different than men's. Oh, wait, that's heart attack, but whatever.
Is that true?
Yeah. All women's signs of medical emergencies are a lot of times different than men's.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Did you find Robert O'Neill stuff, though?
I did not. I searched.
Ron O'Neill?
Somebody in the chat.
Phoenix. It was Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yep, it was Phoenix.
I searched.
I was not there.
Every folder in our system.
You're going to make me text JT, aren't you?
Yeah.
Poor Jordan Tinkle.
So in our system, I can just search a word. It'll search every folder. And I searched Robert O'Neill. Nothing. And that's every folder in the building, not just the station. What was that, Slay?
Remember we had a dump? Slay's here.
Well done, Zeph Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm texting.
Man, if you don't look up, man, you'll look at. This is my first time ever in life keeping a calendar and putting stuff on the calendar, like to-do list.
What? First time?
No, I remember everything.
No, you don't. That's
I
the
absolutely
problem.
do. No, I absolutely do.
Your speaking engagement in Maryville. Remember that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I remember.
You couldn't remember.
I know, but I remember the day when it's happening. But now I went like this. I went about it and started putting stuff in the calendar. Like, hey man, I was pretty busy in May. Y'all want to know what I had to do?
What did you have to do in May?
Slay.
I remember everything.
No, hold up.
This is amazing.
Hold up. Here we go.
I mean,
Slay, you set yourself up for failure.
No, here we go.
We could not have scripted that any better.
Here we go. I had to go do. We had to do the golf tournament media thing, right?
Okay, that was a promotional thing. We played like 8 holes. Okay,
That's something you got to go do.
Okay.
I had lunch. I had to go do lunch at Perry's.
Do you not do lunch?
This is none of the stuff. No, I
Wait, what did you get at Perry's? Did you get the pork chop?
Yeah, I ended up not going to Paris. I went to somewhere else. But the pork chop is phenomenal.
He didn't even follow his schedule.
No, it got changed on me last minute. I just knew I had lunch.
But the pork chop is phenomenal.
It is. Then I had to.
It's huge.
I called my guy Bart with Boys and Girls Club. Then Dr. Scott appointment about my knee.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
No, it didn't.
You found out your knee is dumb.
Yeah. That Monday after Mother's Day, Kevin Dyson golf tournament, my niece graduated. The next day, I had to do Ron's bridge meeting at Ravenwood and go see Kellum Stem Cell.
I didn't even know Kevin Dyson had a golf tournament.
It wasn't Kevin, it was Todd Campbell's.
Oh, okay.
You just got a affiliation.
That's backfield in motion.
Backfield in motion.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sometimes, listen, my calendar is for me to understand, not really for everybody
Once you said
else.
Todd Gamble, I got you.
Yeah, then I had a meeting with my guy Bill Maddox in Knoxville and a conversation in Maryville. Mm-hmm. Kellum Stem Cell again. Papa Vanderveer's birthday. Ron's promotion from 8th grade.
Did you put in there when he stole your banana pudding?
Nah, that shouldn't have never been on the schedule. Why would that be on the schedule?
It was on his schedule.
Yeah. But I say all that, and then like I'm ending the month with fill in with Savage.
Tomorrow.
Had a podcast this morning. Supposed to be with my sister on
Neil
Tuesday.
and Nikki. What do Neil and Nikki talk about?
Not the news.
Not the news. I did see that on it.
Not the news podcast.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about my journey and being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Talked about our times at UT. Talked about NIL. Took jabs at Neil took jabs at Nikki about Babsy since he was a favorite co-host. So anchor is it co-anchor? What is it? Co-host? Oh, co-anchor.
Co-anchor.
Yeah, co-anchor. Yeah. Yep. It was pretty cool.
To be in all seriousness, Babs was so good at that job that like her and Neil, I'm not even gonna look at you while I'm saying this, Babs. Babs and Neil and Justin, that was must-watch television. And where I'm going with that is Nikki did such an incredible job of transitioning into that role because that was a lot of pressure. And she did great. Mm-hmm. She did great.
Thanks, Mayor.
Good job, Babs.
See.
All right, stop talking about me.
That's how you compliment everyone involved right there.
Well
Did you
done.
see that?
Well done, Mayor.
Very mayoral.
There's a reason we call him the mayor.
I did text JT, former producer of 3HL, to see where he's going to get that text and be like, hey man, hope you're doing well. Where's the Robert O'Neill interview? How do we find that?
What was the last time? What was JT been gone for what?
He's been gone a while.
4 or 5 years?
What year was that, Phoenix?
I don't know. We've been to Phoenix twice.
We've been to no, once for me.
We went one time. We went to the Waste Management Open. Me and Blaine and
that's when you guys
Mickey.
went. This is that one.
This is that one.
Yeah.
Well,
that's when we saw Sneds on the practice range, and Blaine yelled across the golf course, "Hey, Sneds!"
Oh God.
I'm like, oh my.
Well,
God.
if you're going to yell across the golf course, that's the tournament to do it at. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. But and so like Sneds like turned and looked, and he wasn't like the first or second or third golfer. Like he was down the row, right? And so he turned around and he goes, "What are you boys doing here?" We're like, I have no idea. I really have no idea. But Tiger Woods was hobbling around that course. He left that tournament early that year. That was the start of the end there for him. But he did win the Masters.
Yes, he did.
Which is one of the greatest sports moments of all time.
Yeah, he captivated so many.
Let's talk about we played some snippets from our conversation with Tim Corbin, Vanderbilt baseball coach, earlier in the show. The day before we talked with Tim Corbin, we talked with Tony Vitello. And it's interesting that these guys have won national championships, right? Like they have experienced the ultimate success in their sport. And they're very different people, right? Like they're very different personality types. So it's interesting to talk with successful people and figure out how they are successful and what drives them and all of these things. And both guys go about it in a different way. But you pulled a couple of cuts from Tony Vitello.
Yes, I did. This first one is Tony asking, obviously, the struggles with Tennessee they've had down the stretch. and you go into Hoover and you win 2 big games versus Alabama and versus the number 1 seed in Texas before eventually dropping to Vanderbilt. But this was, Tony, on if the team has finally found a groove after those couple months of struggle.
Well, I think understanding the team has been something that's essential. We've got Hunter Ensley, who's the grandpa of our team. He's been around forever. But most of the other guys we look to for everyday reps or leadership, they're 2 or 1 year guys. And part of it is we have a fairly young team compared to other SEC teams. There's a lot of first year freshman guys in particular. And then this transfer portal thing has changed what was kind of our little niche of like that 22 team we had that was pretty memorable. That was built on freshmen that didn't play a whole lot. Then they played more as sophomores, and then either as juniors and seniors, they become our better players. And those days are fading for us, and I think for most other teams. So all that is a part of our DNA, and why each day forward with this team is more and more helpful about who belongs where, and then that guy getting comfortable with that position. But the 2 wins, the biggest value there, it's great to play in front of our fans, and the stadium is under construction. It's fun. It's Knoxville. But we needed to get home and rest a little bit. We had been on the road for 12 days, and it's been a grind of a season in general. So that's going to be the biggest benefit, is I think just being at our own place during the next week.
Interesting stuff from Vitello. The grind, man. And we talked with Corbs about that. Like the grind of the SEC with 13 of the 16 in the field. And, like, there are no weekends off, man. I mean, and Corbs had a great point to that. When we brought that up, 13 of the 16 are in the tournament. He goes, yeah, well, when I took this job, there were only 12.
Total.
SEC teams. So, anyway, what else you got from Tony V?
Yeah, this one I thought was really interesting. Question from Slay to Tony asking, like, what is different about this team compared to the last couple of years where he's had a lot of success, and this team maybe not as successful, but still, a 40-win season. And this was his answer with that one.
This team is definitely different than the others since we've had here. They're a little more laid back, and I don't think that means like playing the game casually. I just think when they show up and it's the best form of them, it's kind of like that fresh start we had against Alabama. It was the beginning of a new season, technically, with the tournament down in Hoover. And it was game 1, fresh start. We had played Alabama. We beat them. They were confident. Of course, they should have been confident anyway. But it wasn't a lot of rah-rah or intensity or we're going to kill these guys. It's just a fun-loving, again, laid back sounds a little negative, but it's a little more calm and confident group than we've had. In 22, it was like I had to play the policeman every day to tame that group down a little bit.
Right.
Well, that group was wild, bro.
Yeah, they were. And it was kind of what made them go. And I think our guys, we've had to figure out what makes them go, but they've also kind of had to sort through that a little bit too. And, we had fireworks with the Vanderbilt game, and I think, this is my perspective, both teams were equally guilty of that. It was just the nature of a very competitive series here in Knoxville. And I don't know if this was the case for our guys, but I don't think they do very well with the whole let's go out and kill these guys and let's go out and dominate. It's better when they're more relaxed and they just go out and play and keep it simple. And we've tried to point that out to them, but by this time of year, it is up to those leaders. And I do think we got some positive leadership. And if anything, this group has been a fun group to come to work for every day or come to work with. And the team chemistry's been there, and it's gotten better and better each day, as opposed to with some teams, the more you spend time around each other, it's like a relationship, which I don't know much about that. But, sometimes the more you spend time around somebody, the more you want to strangle them. This group has kind of gone the other way. It's been fun to be around each other every day.
Savage loved that. He leaned in on that. He was like, "Boy, listen to Tony V. He's got respect for the streets."
That was good.
That was good. So, yeah, if you want to hear the Corbin conversation or the Tony Vitello conversation, either one of them. Ryan Blaney was on yesterday. He was phenomenal, too. Where you get your podcast, get the 3HL podcast. When we come back, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster next on 104.5 The Zone.
You need new windows, you need new doors. Sometimes it's time to upgrade those things in your home, even if it's not the sexiest of upgrades. But when you do have to do it, you need to call Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And you might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella, affordable and the best quality out there. I love a good deal. You love a good deal. We all love a good deal. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville wants to give you a good deal right now as they celebrate 100 years in business. All you have to do is tell them that you would like the Dawn deal for May. That is 50% off qualifying installations and 0% APR for 36 full months. Ask them for details. Let them help you out. And I promise you, they are the best out there at what they do. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Schedule your free consultation. Check out the Dawn deal. You can do it all online easily at PellaNashville.com.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you.
What up?
Babsy had to slide out. She put in a full day today.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
I was going to put Big Cat on one of my
parlays.
Carl Anthony Towns, on one of the parlays, but I took him off.
You don't trust him to hit that second three-pointer, do you?
No. And I think tonight's going to be the night for the role players to really impact for like Anunoby.
I was thinking Anunoby.
Miles Bridges. I keep on calling this man Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges. Mitchell Robinson off the bench. Josh Hart, offensive rebounding. Miles McBride. Miles McBride is going to be one to come off, hit a couple shots.
Okay.
But yeah.
I see it rolling.
I think they beat Indiana. I already got 2 parlays already.
I was leaning Knicks too, so that kind of does that make me confident or nervous that we both were leaning them?
No, this is just
because the Pacers are like 13-3 against the spread on the road this playoffs.
I mean, it's just what it is. I ain't even know like I expect. This is not New York. New York's not going to perform the way Minnesota did. You know what I'm saying? Come out flat like that.
What happened to them, man?
They just came out a little lethargic, man.
Man said, quote, nobody's going to work harder than me, end quote. Okay.
I believe that.
I do too, but
I believe that.
Why not? Like,
he's going to always tell you what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Or the thing with OKC.
Like before the draft when he said, I don't really like basketball.
Yeah.
I don't like to play it, but I like to watch it. Like,
OKC is a really good team. They know what it is. They were at home. They were ready to put them people away. New York would not go out like I'll be shocked. And then
big game for Brunson. Big game Brunson tonight.
I think he only had about 27. I guess that's a big game, but he's been like 35, 40. So
what did I say the other day? He walks in the gym with 25 points.
Easy. I think he's gonna have about 27 tonight, but it's gonna be so much. Like hopefully Tibbs can take him out.
It's like when Big Savage or Ramon Foster played high school basketball. I just walked in the gym with 25.
Headband intact.
Yeah, headband was definitely intact, man. I was trying to be the next Ron Slay, and everybody in my school in my little city knew that too, by the way. That's Ron Slay, little brother. That's what they said. That's Nardo, little brother. That's what they said, just so y'all know.
Little brother. Savage. I love that.
Yeah, they used to call me Little Foster, man. Imagine that, me being Little Foster. Or, hey, that's Junior Dyson grandson. Like all them types of things right there, man. Everything but my name. You know how it goes. It's like when you have kids. You don't have a name no more. Ron, I bet you that's Lil Ron's dad.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes right there, man. Absolutely. That's Connor's dad. Like, that's how it goes right there, man. You know how it goes.
Before we get too into things, I want to point out to the good people that are listening that enjoy 104.5 The Zone. I want to point out that it is a very difficult job that you have been able to pull off this week beautifully because it's tough to do a show every day with a different host. Someone like you've never hosted a show with Buck, you've never hosted a show with me, you've never hosted a show with Babs. I don't know about you and Slay, but I do want to point out that is a challenge, and man, you've done a beautiful job this week.
Man, y'all, that's far too kind, man. Y'all know how it goes, man. I'm for everybody winning, man. Everybody eats,
that's right.
baby.
Everybody eats, baby.
That's literally that's one of the first things you ever said to me when you started to work here. I love it.
You know what? Like, sometimes you just got to hold on a little bit longer. Sometimes you got to put yourself in a position to elevate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just really like resorts to like, man, when it's your time is going to be there. Like it's. I truly do believe that, and a lot of facets, like Babs and I were talking about Will Levis this morning, how he sounded like he, you know, his cat got run over or whatever
that's what Babs said.
Yeah, and my whole mindset is like, Babs, stop feeling sorry for him. What are you talking about? Like, adversity's for everybody. Like, if you wait, your time is going to come. Now, it may not be in the avenue or the lane that you wanted to be in, but good work can't be overlooked. And that's what I was saying about Will Levis' situation and just life in general. Like, look at Savage and Mai and, you know, Ronaldo's pathway. That didn't stop the show just because neither one of us was drafted. Like, no, create your own deck of cards, man. And I truly do believe that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess maybe a better way for me to say it is like I do a show differently than Buck does, than Babs does, than Slay does, and it all meshes and it's been impressive to kind of see you roll with how we all do shows and stuff, and it's been fun. We've been talking about like and Will Bowling's on vacation; he'll be back on Monday, but we've talked about for a year, like since Brad Willis was the program director here, of like kind of mixing and matching hosts of different shows and different day parts. So I think that's been fun. Hopefully the listeners have appreciated that, and we rock and roll. Here's a question from, let's see, Top Tier. Ask Ramon to call Tomlin and ask him to trade for Levis.
You know what? I think Levis needs a change of scenery, but I'm not that powerful, y'all. I got some flex with some things, but I ain't got that much flex, man. That's the reason I said it about a month and 2 months ago when we knew Cam Ward was going to be the guy. I'm not sure how far you want me to go with this, Mayor, but I was just like, Levis needs to go.
Well,
I think we're all witnessing it right now.
For those that missed it, Bab said he sounded like somebody ran over his cat. Let's go ahead and play that if you don't care, Savage, and then we'll talk about it.
Let's roll with it.
Will Levis on the feeling of being in a backup role now and adjusting to that new situation.
Yeah. I mean, I think, anyone who's ever been in my situation can agree that it sucks. So just trying to do everything I can to not let it affect me and just, being just the same dude every day in the building and being here for the guys however I can and just trying to get better every day.
If your backup, Will, you've got the mindset to downshift into what that requires?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been a backup in a while. I don't plan on shifting my mindset at all regardless of what the situation is. So I'm just going to, be ready to play quarterback whenever my name's called.
Is that PK with the interjection there? It sucks. Anyone that's been in my position knows it sucks.
Yeah.
That was real.
But
That's what it is.
It was real, but like my approach this morning was this. Will, we know what position that you're in right now? I would throw it back at the Titans. Like, in a sense of like, man, I wouldn't be moping, and maybe that's just Will's tone. So if it is Will Levis, man, I apologize. I'm sorry for thinking anything other than what you are. But my approach was this: considering who he is and the position he plays, I would be of the mindset that I'd make it somewhat weird. Like I'd be, saying stuff like, I'm here to compete. I'm here to win a job. Cam Ward, not without mentioning him. Like Cam is like, we're in a battle and I'm trying to save my job and help this team win. Like I'd be in that type of mindset as it pertains to how I would approach it. Like, and there's another cut, I think it's 61 that you guys also saved too, where he is saying, I had already compartmentalized that they were going to take a quarterback and, it sounded like he's willing to take a back seat. Absolutely not, man. You lean into the idea that competition brings the best out of you. And again, the way I look at it is you knew he was the backup with Tannehill whenever Tannehill was here. And then he ended up clipping Tannehill and taking it over. Yeah. And from that point, Will Levis was on, I don't want to call it easy street, but nobody was challenging him for his position. Yeah. And where he's at right now, I view it in a sense of like, if you're a dog, you salivate at these moments right here. Like, I know he probably wants to be more out of Nashville than in here. But the idea that, look, I'm just here, a dead man walking, absolutely not, because I think we all see how this can play out. They got two guys that Broll and Brendan, what's his name? Anderson?
Is it Anderson?
Allen.
Brandon Allen and
Allen. We look at them and probably say, those are probably going to be his backups as far as Cam Ward is concerned. So I would take every opportunity I can without being disrespectful to show the coaches, y'all going to have to make a hard decision on me, or I'm going to really elevate my ability to be traded away where you got to get rid of me. Like, and that's in his hands and in his control. I don't like this calm, no, make it weird. And I say that in the sense of this is what sports is. I felt like last year in hindsight, all of us going to view and say, he was kind of handed the job. Well, you know what you do now? Prove that you belong in that job, because this is just one of 32 other opportunities. Hell, New Orleans Saints have an opening, to be quite honest with you. Like, put it on display for them. The Pittsburgh Steelers, to your point of who was it that asked that question, not Trump, forget who it was, but like, they have an opportunity to feud. Now, it's going to be kind of crazy that he goes to Pittsburgh and could potentially be Mason Rudolph's backup right now, but it doesn't matter. Like, create a value for yourself, and I feel like he is devaluing himself in a lot of ways in his tone.
That's really interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Gave us a lot to think about there, Big Savage.
Savage, this is the thing. We had a conversation earlier, and Zeph was asking about Stephon Diggs not showing up, being on the boat, with the viral clip going, and also Big Jeff. Saw you in the chat talking about it earlier. Your thoughts and feelings about veterans missing this time, not mini camp or training camp or anything, but this time right here.
See, this is one of them, you do what you want when you popping or you got enough flex, or it's going to hurt them a whole lot more to just cut you than it is to keep you and let you continue to do your thing. We're speaking about college football, right, and how they have or how they should be trying to implement a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Jeff's ability to be away from football right now is in the agreement between the players' union and the owner/team. They should be okay with him being away from the team because that is his right. We're arguing about rights of players and their ability to show up voluntarily or not. So what's the difference between Jeff coming in on Monday or Tuesday and missing Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Or you just want to see his face? This is one of those situations, and I get like they're in a different phase. Maybe this is strategic almost in a sense of where Jeff can have Tavondre Sweat and Arden Key and others grow up a little bit more and lead, because one of the conversations that was had about like Jeff's ability to have plays off. Like if Jeff is there, you know what you're going to get every single time. His presence there for where this team is at right now, it seems to me like they're a well-oiled machine without him. So like the idea that he needs to be here, yeah, I get it. But here's also the other side of it. As many reps that Jeff plays throughout the course of the season, like maybe he needs to be training and working on his condition a little bit more, because this time of the year is not necessarily a whole lot of running and conditioning. I've seen the clips of Jeff working out. I've seen and I know like who he works out with too. It's not like he's sitting around eating Doritos or anything like that. He's getting to it. But here's the other thing. It's just like us with our jobs and stuff. We have a certain amount of off days that we can take off. The company agreed upon that. So whenever I submit, hey, I want to be off on this day, and that day, guess what? You get those days because that is the agreement. And I understand like this is sports pressure that's involved in this too. But the idea that he has to be there is wrong. It's flagrant. This is what a collective bargaining agreement allows. Aaron Rodgers does the same thing. And so many players that have the ability to do this. He can come in town and just sit on his helmet the whole time. Right? Mm-hmm. Like he can do those things. Like we bargained for that to happen to where you're not going to judge me for missing a day. Heck, what if Jeff has to go somewhere to handle a family issue?
Right.
Like we don't know what it is, but here's what I can tell you. He has the ability to do that because the CBA tells him this is voluntary. I know a lot of people hate the Vols, right? But in this sentiment right here for his job, he can miss. And that is all right.
Coming up tomorrow, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster, and Big Savage, Slay Dog, Savage Radio.
Yep, bright and early, baby. Be there, folks. Never know who will pop in.
How my dog doing? Savage, by the way, man, I was listening to your play-by-plays on the softball game. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
But real dogs know.
Me?
Real dogs know. That's all.
Unfortunate ending, but they'll play tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do with Pickens? Would you throw her back out there? Because like if they're going to win this thing, they need her. So I mean, my personal opinion would be like throw her back out there. Don't have her sit around and think about that.
Yeah, I heard Zeph giving a good breakdown about that too. Softball, their mechanics are different. Like they can pitch today and tomorrow and potentially close the next day too because there's less stress on their arms. I talked to somebody, one of our VFL alums, her daughter plays softball, and I was actually like, does your arm ever hurt after you pitch, like your elbow? She's like, no. It's like I might have back soreness. I was like, oh, so like your shoulder? She's like, no, like around my scapula. Like I have like some soreness around there. She's like, but as far as my arm, I'm good to go. So there's an idea that Carlin Pickens could go again tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
I kind of hope she does, but I do want to see somebody else step up. And if they can play and have good defense and she come in and close it out, I'd much rather that be the case. But, of course, y'all know, like I know, man, defense and the bullpen is how you win baseball and softball games. By the way, shout out to the MLB, too, for jumping in the Alliance and them backing up softball. So now we get to see women's softball here in America sponsored and backed by the MLB the same way the NBA is doing with the WNBA. So that's a big step right there, man. So kudos to them for doing that.
Mr. Keefe says on YouTube he'll be there at 5:55 a.m. ready to
be there.
partake.
Don't what they say, Savage. Don't meet me there.
Beat me there.
Beat me there.
Y'all
took care of.
Y'all need some like big spread too, like some big breakfast spread.
My dog know I'll feed him. My dog.
We take care of business. This is that's the least of my worries.
Serious.
I showed Mayor my protein oatmeal I'm eating in the morning. He was just like, "What is that?" And I was just like, "Food."
I thought you were eating tuna. I thought you were eating tuna fish, but I was glad that it was oatmeal.
Anybody eating tuna fish in the studio need to be curb stomped just a little bit. Not necessarily, but like you should be put in the corner for a while.
We'll be listening. Ramon and Will 6 to 10 weekday mornings tomorrow. Slay Dog filling in for Will Bowling. So we'll be listening.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
By the way, Savage, thanks for putting me on Mobland. I can't wait till Sunday.
I told you.
So good.
I told you.
I think I got a few episodes that just dropped that I can watch now, too. I'm glad you said that.
I envy you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I envy you. Having that backup like that, oh, my God.
Yeah. All right, Savage. Thank you, man. Love you, bro.
All right. Thank y'all. Love y'all, too. I'll see you tomorrow morning, Savage.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be fun.
Know it.
That's going to be fun.
Something running time. I do got this.
You got parsley?
Parsley locked and loaded. That's one thing. I had to give a guy Hodgepodge. He said he's in the chat.
He was on hold, and we didn't get a chance to get.
Yeah, but this is my thing. Y'all gotta know this. Y'all, let me pull this up. 205-911. You gotta know this. I only accept talking before games. If you want to talk after games in hindsight, it's non-acceptable to me. So it's gonna fall on deaf ears.
If you want to talk after, you got to talk before.
Yeah, that's
right?
the only trash talk I accept because it's easy to do that. That's too easy. That's low-hanging fruit. Anybody can do it. A kid can get that right that don't know nothing about the sport. Just tell them who won.
That's Shiano's too easy.
Yeah, you got to give me. But Hodgepodge, I now know you are a Sooner fan, so I'll be looking for your call anytime the Vols face off with the Sooners. My man, salute, big dog.
Yes.
He said, I will next time. There you go. Big salute.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready to roll.
Good.
Parsley ready.
Parsley coming up next, 3 HL. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Executive producer of 3HL. It's, excuse me, Zeph Dog.
What's up?
You okay in there?
Yeah, I'm eating some Flamin' Hot Dill Pickle flavored Cheetos.
Flamin' Hot Dill Pickle Cheetos?
Yeah, they're actually really good. Zach Lyons off Cover 2 gave them to me.
Slay's watching something.
Hey, dog.
What you got going over there?
I got to give a shout out.
Shout outs presented by Unk down the street.
Yeah, so so the EMS came over, take my grandma to the hospital. She cool, just a little knee injury. But
I love how you just roll through things.
Yeah,
You're kind of like Chris Lowe.
This is more important.
Also, does your whole family have knee injuries?
No, they don't. I wish we all had doctors, then we would be easy on the bread. But the EMS guy was telling me, he said Chris put him on the Ring camera, and so salute to him. He said, man, we just had, I wish I could have heard his name. I was in Hawkeye's off the strip, and they used to have all-you-can-eat wings.
What did they call it, Monster Hour or something,
Yeah.
where they did 3 for 1 at Hawkeye's?
Yep, so he ate 100 wings, and they gave him a T-shirt. He said, and then he said he was stuffed. He said, and then he's just sitting there, and me and 2 other basketball players walk in to do the exact same thing. He was looking like, oh, man, they finna beat me. And went over and got the shirt signed. So, salute, man. Salute.
That's
ain't
cool.
many people that remember Hawkeyes, dog.
No,
Hawkeyes
me and
was
you talk about it
all the time.
but
yeah.
I don't hear anybody else talk about it. Yeah.
Nobody talks. It
So
was only a
Hawkeye's,
cool
like,
stint.
the strip is not the strip anymore.
No, it's not. No.
But we were there close enough to each other that it was still kind of the same thing. But Hawkeye's wasn't even on the strip.
It was right behind it.
It was
Yep.
behind Walgreens and
Yep,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, that was.
It was like in a house.
Yes, that's exactly what it was like. That food used to be. Dude, I used to get. This is what they used to bring me out for my meal on the all you
I
can
never
eat
even
times.
got food there. No, because like the Monster Hour thing or whatever Power Hour, whatever they called it, it was like from 5 until 6 o'clock. 1 hour a week, they would do 3 for 1.
They used to do the same thing with the wings from like 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Dog, they would bring me because I love Shirley Temple. They'd bring me a bottle of grenadine out and a pitcher of Sprite.
Oh my gosh.
And then just keep bringing me the pan of wings. And I'd just be sitting there eating the wings.
Did you do
tossing.
100?
Hell yeah.
Oh, like
What?
it was nothing.
Like what?
I'm stupid for
Hawkeyes?
asking that question.
Man, then they wasn't the jumbo fat wings. It was the right size party wings, man. Okay, I wish I could find that sauce. Whoever owns Hawkeyes, I owned it. I'm looking for that sauce. That sauce was Animal Hour.
Yeah. Like Zeph never got Hawkeyes.
No, Zeph, you would, boy. Y'all missed that, boy. Y'all missed the strip, though. Y'all ain't even really get the real
I think
experience.
you barely got Hawkeyes. Like, I think it went out right after
Like 2 years. I got it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half, maybe. Because I remember the summer, we probably put them out of business.
Old College Inn.
Oh, that chicken.
What else do we have? The library.
Sawyer's was the truth. Before Zaxby's ever even thought about, Sawyer's was the truth.
Ivy's,
yep.
Yep.
Like it, man.
Long Branch Saloon. I didn't go there that much. But Hannah's
for sure.
lasted forever.
Still there.
It's still there.
There's still Hannah's on the strip.
What's the one right
down the road?
Oh, Charlie's?
Yep.
Right across the street from the Shell gas station. Not across the strip,
Yes. What was that?
but on the side. It was
Tap Room.
Tap room.
Tap Room was over there.
It was another one like red chili pepper or something. Red.
OCI was there, Old College Inn.
Yep.
They have meatloaf, man. The meatloaf there was incredible.
It was kind of sitting behind a building on the strip. Charlie Peppers.
Charlie Peppers.
Yep. Charlie Peppers. They wings was good too. Sneaky, boy. There's a sneaky good wings out there with they sauce. I think they copied Hawkeye sauce. Charlie Peppers, I think
Is it bad
like,
that I never really ate at any of these places?
No, this is what my thing was. Find out what a good food
I did have the meatloaf at Old College Inn. We
Yes,
called it
yeah.
OCI back in the day.
Yeah,
See,
that was it.
When I was there, I mean, there weren't a ton of like restaurants and spots like on the strip, but they've cut it in half even more in just the 2 years since I've graduated.
Yeah, it's like residential
all apartment
now.
buildings now.
That's
Like
I
they
don't
got
like
rid
that.
of like all the good stuff.
Yep, sure did. Thanks, Herbie. Animal Hour was the name.
Animal Hour.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
See, there go one person that remembers.
My guy Will Blackburn just said that. I think it was called Animal Hour.
Yep.
It was.
Are you ready for this?
I am ready.
Now listen, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now. This parlay right here, bankroll waiting.
Well, you just won last night.
Yeah, but this one's gonna be even bigger. This gets you.
I
plus,
didn't even get last night's.
Yeah, don't even worry about that. This will make up for it. This was plus 52.25.
You can't worry about the sand that's already gone through the hourglass.
Worry about what's going to come through when we flip it. Here we go.
Can I guess how many legs it is before we get into this?
Absolutely, you can, Zip.
All right, you said plus what? 52.25?
25, yep.
That sounds like a little short little baby seven leg parlay.
This sounds like an 8-er.
7.
Oh, look. Oh, you can tell who bets more than I do.
Hey, I know my dog.
Yeah, he does. All right, here we go. Let's get into it.
Yep.
All right, what you got, Slay?
I do have an 8 one, though.
Of course you do. Jeez.
Oh.
MM says OCI had the best burger ever. M. Bob says Smoky Mountain Market.
All right, this is kind of crazy.
That little gas station actually did have some good
Wings,
food in there.
phenomenal.
In that little gas station?
Man, what?
Yeah.
Man, if you don't go get the Rocket Top, it's the Rocket Top
Rocket
Shell
Top
gas
Market.
station. Rocket Top Market. You don't go get the Rocket Top wings, you don't know nothing about Knoxville.
Is it still there?
Man, well, yes, that gas station could never go anywhere.
Well,
Are they still cooking?
The Shell down the street on the corner, that's where we got our kegs back in the day.
See, that was Pilot for us.
Pilot, yeah, Pilot, sorry. It was Pilot.
But
All right,
I think they changed it from Pilot.
What you got? Because I got a 3HL
All right,
bingo
so I
card
just
in there.
figured out. I made one last night, too, so I got 3 parlays. The one I made last night, I don't know how I made it, 4, 6.
You don't remember?
Now, that's a 9 one.
You don't remember making that one?
Nah, it was at 10:28 at night, too. Early night. But this is the one I want to give to people.
Early night.
Yeah. OG Anunoby over 16.5 points. Mikal Bridges over 16.5 points. Mitchell Robinson over 5.5 points.
I like his little baby 5-point things. He
always delivers.
He always hits like
He gonna get 3 offensive
7,
rebounds
8
too.
points.
Yeah. He gonna dunk. You know what I mean? Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds.
I like that.
Tyrese Halliburton. Here we go, y'all. This is where you may go against me. Points plus rebounds plus assists.
Yeah.
Under 35.5.
Ooh.
You think he's gonna have a bad game or not?
No, I don't think he's gonna have a bad game. I just think is New York is gonna get this over and done with, and it's gonna stifle them. And Rick Carlisle gonna be like, all right, y'all.
Oh, they're gonna pay attention. They're gonna pay attention to him.
Let's get the end down.
So what was it? 33?
Under 35.5.
35.5. For everything, points, rebounds, assists.
Yep.
Yep.
Karl Anthony Towns, points, rebounds, and assists, under 35.5.
Ooh.
Yep. That right there. You got it. OG over 16.5, Bridges over 16.5, Robinson over 5.5. Those are all points. Hart over 8.5 rebounds, and Anunoby over 4.5 rebounds. Halliburton and Karl Anthony Towns both under 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I don't think you said Anunoby. What was him again? What was he? Anunoby?
Over 4.5 rebounds.
Over 4.
And over 16.5 points. But those are 2 separate bets. Man, the one I made last night looked all right, too. It's kind of similar, except Brunson is added. Halliburton is 15-plus points. Robinson is 6 rebounds. That's a pretty good one, y'all.
So out of the 2 you had for yesterday, you got all but 1 leg, both of them combined?
No.
So Anthony Edwards had. I got one on my one, and then the one. No, I shared both of them.
Oh, you did?
Even the one I didn't. Anthony Edwards, I had him getting over 20 points. He got 19, and Anunoby needed him to hit one more. No, Jalen Williams, I needed him to hit one more 3.
So you missed 2 out of what? 15?
Probably 16.
You ever thought about just putting together like a 15, 16?
No, I told
just
him.
one night and just go with it?
No, what I told him was do the parlay, but also bet each of them separately because he always is one leg short when he misses.
Yep. Sure am.
3HL bingo card.
Yep. Ready to roll.
Zeph, you ever dive backwards into a pool? My bad. I'm talking to the wrong athlete. Babs, you ever dive backward into the pool?
Is Zeph the one shut that off?
Savage this morning. He's the only guy I know that gets up to take a nap.
I'm going to get up and lay back down now. You got to get naps in, man. If you ain't getting naps in, life ain't the same.
Get up to get down.
911 is not a joking out.
Shout out to the first responders.
That's right.
Especially those that went to Hawkeyes and ate 100
Man,
rings.
my guy, I wish I knew your name, dog. EMS in Williamson County, man. Appreciate you, dog. Redhead guy, look like, man.
Just
on
call
the
him
camera.
Red.
Big Red, man.
Yeah.
Red, man. 100 wings, man. You should be saluted. Where's that shirt? Find that Hawkeye shirt. We can go back to Hawkeye. We can reinvent Hawkeyes.
Back at it tomorrow, Savage Radio from 6 to 10 in the morning. Ron Slay and Ramon Foster, and then 3HL. I'm out tomorrow. 3HL will be Slay and Babs and Jeff Dog in there. Who's Jeff?
I don't know who Jeff is.
By the way, JT said it's in the R drive, which Zeph has no idea what the R drive is.
Yeah, there is no R drive.
JT just inventing things.
Yeah.
Man, we appreciate you guys more than you possibly could know. But we do try to let you guys know from time to time, and certainly at this point of the day. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you including us in your life. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Good night. God bless. See you.
Wouldn't want to be you unless you were getting a shout-out to all the old school spots up there in Knoxville, man.
How about that?
We'll run through the other ones in Nashville tomorrow, but the ones up there, man, the long and not forgotten.
Old City.
On the Strip.
The Underground.
There you go.